First of all, I'm extremely grateful that you chose me amongst all the other copywriting course creators, and I'm here to help, so you can ask me any questions that you have. So I'm here to help you to achieve your goals in copywriting. How to go through this course. So this is critical section of this course. Please don't skip this. How to go through it. I usually suggest going 1.5x speed, which is going to help you to go through the course a little bit faster. Hello guys, how you doing? You made the best decision of your life. Trust me, this is going to be life-changing for you if you apply what you've learned. So you're gonna learn a ton. Trust me on this one, and you will thank me later. This is my Instagram, this is my YouTube. Leave a comment below or in the YouTube, or subscribe. You will learn a ton of stuff there as well. All right, let's get into it. So copywriting. This course will be all about facts, all about the information I've gathered throughout my career in digital marketing, writing copy to sell my courses for hundreds of thousands of dollars in revenue, and also studying all the top guys, such as Gary Halbert, Joseph Sugarman, what was the other guy? John Capels, all the top guys, and the current guys as well who are really good at long form copies, like Sabri Subi, all the other guys, right? All the other direct marketers, or Alex Harmozy, all this stuff, right? But mainly it will go further back in, the top guys, Gary Halbert, Joseph Sugarman, and John Capels. All right, let's get into it. So first goal of copywriting, a lot of people confuse this because it is open to debate. It is such a vague term in today's day and age. Writing, right? Writing. People think, yeah, I can write. Yeah, I can write, People think fine writing is actually copywriting, but it's not. Copywriting has one goal and one goal only. Getting leads is either getting leads or either making sales. If you are not doing none of these two, you're not doing copywriting. Because you're not, walking towards the goal that is going to enable you some money, right? If you're not bringing in money with your copywriting, that is useless. That is not copywriting. That is just, learning to write. Everybody knows how to write, right? In first grade, they teach you how to write. You're doing that. You're not doing copywriting. But if you want to actually learn copywriting, you have to write to sell or get leads. If you're doing business to business, that's getting leads. If you're doing B2C, business to customer directly, you're doing copywriting as well. By the way, there are going to be two types of people getting this course. One, they already have businesses and they want to sell more with copywriting. And two, they want to become a freelance copywriter and help businesses make sales. So I'm going to be talking towards both of you. So if you're one of those two, and I'm 100% sure you are, that will 100% help you. It doesn't matter what people like. So people like to think of copywriting as, oh, I think it looks good, but if you've said this, because this offends me, or they say, oh, if you would have said that, that sounds better, that sounds more professional. And they always confuse this thing because professionalism doesn't bring sales. Of course, you can have a brand tone which could, gauge certain tones. Let's say you are speaking to medical doctors and you're trying to sell a device to medical doctors. You can have more specific medical terms in your copy, right? But it doesn't have to be. If you ask someone, yeah, I like it, but it should be more professional because you're speaking to XYZ. Doesn't mean anything. It's a vague concept. So your first goal is to actually trigger their emotions and making sales, which we're going to cover in depth. This is the intro part, but please don't skip this. You're going to learn a lot of foundations here. As I said, if you go ask and do a survey, which we're going to cover in the next slide, they're going to say, yeah, I really like this ad. That ad is one of my favorites. So they're going to ask. There was actually one ad that performed Oprah praised, got a lot of, ton of uploads, and it was ad of the year. But when you look at the sales, they took that car out. Why? Because it wasn't written, or the ad wasn't made to make sales. But if you compare it to a really boring, quote unquote boring, let's say Toyota commercial, which puts the price, emotions, triggers, and logic, bam, 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 it sells. Maybe like increase their sales with just simple ad with like basic copywriting fundamentals. They increase their sales by like 200%. So what people like doesn't actually mean that it is gonna make more sales. Let's cover what I mean by this. So surveys don't give us the results. What do I mean by that? As I covered, so if you ask a person, they will say, yeah, I really love that ad. I really love that ad. And you know, the ad of the years usually come from people who do not buy the ad, buy the product in the ad. But they love the ad, but that doesn't mean that ad actually sells. So you might ask a person, yeah, I love that ad. That ad was amazing. And they like, share, and also sort of stuff on Facebook ads or whatever, Google ads or email advertising or your landing page. I like this landing page. Looks so professional or looks so, you know, esoteric or something, right? But did you actually buy? And if the answer is no, that ad is not profitable. That ad doesn't serve you. If they don't buy, there's no question about it. There's no comment about it. If they haven't pulled out their credit card and they haven't bought your product or service, whatever they say in the surveys don't matter. Because the surveys, they usually think about logic. They think, okay, this ad, I really like this part of the ad and vice versa. But when they actually put in a situation where they pull out the credit card and buy the product, they're in a completely different mindset. Because in neuropsychology, in consumer psychology, they made a lot of tests on it. So the tests show that when you're in a buying mode, it is a totally different psychology. Because the copy has to trigger your emotional brain, which leads you to purchase a product, and then you justify that purchase with your logic, with your logical part of the brain. And once you ask them about a survey or what do you think about this ad, they will answer a logic because they're not presented with that, you know, a daily scroll and they find an ad, amazing copy. They think, oh shit, I really feel like that and I should really buy this product. If they don't feel like that in surveys. That's why surveys don't really give you a great feedback and you should avoid surveys. But with images and pictures, that's a different story. I'm talking about copywriting. There are certain appeals that still apply in copywriting, but as I said, usually what we are after is sales. So we test what's performing the best, what's not performing the best by the sales. We don't really care about customer feedback or, you know, other people's feedback. What we look at is sales. And back in the direct marketing days, direct mail days, mail order marketing. So they used to, you know, have coupons in the newspapers, and I will show you one more example of this in a bit. They had coupons, right? Once you like that, you go mail and mail order advertising. You mail in, you send them, and they send you the product. In those days, how did they test? Right? They used to. It was harder back then. Now it's super easy for us to make a test, right? We can put on a click on a Facebook ads, turn it on, make a test, which one brings more sales? Bam, we found our winner. But back in the days, they have to test in certain small areas, like they're gonna launch a big campaign in New York. Before they spend their whole money on New York, what they do is like they go to New Jersey or like smaller towns, cities next to New York. They have similar buying behaviors, similar cultures, similar emotional responses to certain ads. They test it with smaller sample size. They see which one brings more sales or responses in leads, if you want to talk about leads. So they look at that. They could have said, do a survey, right? They said, which one do you like? Yeah, I like this one. But they don't. They always look at the responses, either it's leads or sales. Let's look at one more example, and you will understand what do I mean by this. What do you think if you look at this ad? What do you think? It looks boring, right? It looks like, nobody's going to read this. This is too much. Oh man, nobody's going to read this. This is way too much, Jim. There's no way a person reads this, or there's no way I am reading this and buying something. I will skip it. But this ad was one of the $1 million generating ads by David, a guy called David Ogilvy. It's one of the top advertisers back in 1990s, I think. Maybe he was way older than that. But this ad was a winner. And people read the ad. But who read the ad? The people who are your prospects. So don't ever think about, I have to write concise. I have to write as little as possible because people don't read. No, people read. But people who don't read are not your customers anyways, right? So you have the headline. By the way, I didn't put the headline. There was a big headline up on top of this. But my main point is the copy side of things. But the headline is also important. Headline has to intrigue you, but I will cover that as well. So as I said, the main takeaway from this first introduction of this course is always focus on the results of your campaigns. Either you're doing landing page, product description, Facebook ads, Google ads, Pinterest ads, LinkedIn post, YouTube description, whatever it is, any type of writing that drives sales, or emails, anything, right? If you do the test yourself in the real world, it's going to bring you way more in positive and reliable results compared to a survey. So first rule, don't trust surveys. Second rule, don't listen to what people say if they are not your buyers, because they will give a ton of opinions, and opinions don't really matter. The results matter to us. That's why big and most profitable ads are not actually seen by, oh, that looks really good. People don't say that, but that drives results. If the results is there, I'm happy, right? Everybody should be in that mentality when you're going through this course, and you will understand way more. This was the first module. Take care, guys. All right, guys, we covered the important part, which was the introduction. We're gonna write a copy, right? So we have to know a lot about the product and service we're writing about. Otherwise, you're just a reader that is, like, let's say you imagine yourself a total newbie who hasn't stepped foot in a gym, and you're trying to write about a gym equipment or a protein powder for advertising to gym rats. How are you going to sell them? You don't know the pain points. You don't know what they like. You have no idea about what they prefer. If you are selling your product and you want to, advertise for your product, you will know your product, of course, and you will know the market. And I've seen a lot of people who have their products, but they don't know the customer's pain points. And I will guide you in this section of the course how to become an expert in your area, in your service. But let's say if you want to be a freelance copywriter, that's even harder for you. Why? Because you have to, let's say you're working with 10 different clients, and 10 of them are in different industries. One is in beauty, one is in transportation, one is in gym, one is in health and fitness, one is in like random stuff, right? So you have to know all about them. But a good point, which is a really important point, you don't have to be a specialist, extreme specialist in that topic. You just have to know it as good as you can communicate that effectively. That's the most important part. So let's say I'm a digital marketer, a marketing and copywriting expert, right? It's impossible for me to be at this level in, let's say, automotive industry and life insurance and finance. It's impossible. Like, I don't have 1,000 years to live, right? So you can dedicate certain time to each subject. So I'm going to give you how to become an expert guideline. So this will be enough for you to become an expert to communicate that effectively and write in any other industry. Let's say you have a cookie product or any other product, life insurance, or you're selling, let's say, pet foods or anything. So you can be an expert to write a copy about this product in 5 ways. Let me go through this. First one, watch 10 YouTube videos on the product or service at hand. Let's say a customer comes to you and says, you're going to write about, I have this product, so you have to write about this, right? And then how you're going to write about is, you have to first watch 10 YouTube videos about this product or service. It can be reviews, it can be what is the best pet food, it can be, pet food reviews, healthy pet foods, or just type in, watch the first 10 YouTube videos you can, and take notes. You have to take notes. Then read 100 Amazon reviews on similar products. If it's a service that you're advertising, read 100 Google reviews on similar services. So you cannot, of course, there's no service on Amazon, so you have to go to Google reviews and see what people like and what people don't like. There's going to be fake ones, of course, either on Amazon or Google reviews. They put a bunch of fake reviews there. So how can you identify that? Look at the negative reviews. Looking at the negative reviews will make you make sure that you actually pick up what's missing in similar products. So if your product at hand that you're going to advertise have those possible features and benefits, so you can use them in advertising. That's a big advantage. And I see a lot of people who have, let's say a solar power battery, and they don't look at Amazon reviews, right? Or they have, let's say, TikTok lighting, the circle light, and they don't look at Amazon reviews. They just put whatever they have, the features they need. They look at the features and benefits from Alibaba or something, or they look at from the clients that provide to them. They give them like 10 lists, and they just put it on the landing page, put it on the ads, and they wonder why it don't convert. Give them a reason why they should buy from you, right? So how can you give that reason? Look at people who already bought this type of product or service on Amazon, Google reviews, and what they don't like. Probably they're gonna come up with the battery dies super fast. What are you gonna write in your ad? The battery lasts, let's say, 4 days or something. If the cable that goes to the plug, you have to write the cable is 3 meters long, so you can record anywhere you want if you have a battery in the room, right? Like charger in the room. So you will have those, and you will be an expert in what people don't like about this product or service. Quora. You know the Quora, right? Quora.com. They ask questions a lot. Let's say in digital marketing, and I want to advertise my digital marketing, right? What I'm going to write in my copy. If I'm new to digital marketing, if I'm not an expert, I don't know. I go to Quora. What should I look for in an agency, digital marketing agency, if I want them to run my product or service? And then looking at that will give you a great idea. They will say, yeah, they have to have this, they have to have that. Look at the list and look at the upvotes. They will have upvotes as well. Let's give it an example. Let's check out Quora. Bam. Now we are at Quora. This is the page that looks, that will look like this when you go to Quora, digital marketing. Bam. Now you can see digital marketing expert. A lot of people following. How should I pick digital marketing agency? Right? They're going to see a bunch of results. So this is a great explanation, by the way, right? So they are explaining why having an agency is a necessity. So this is good. So what I would do is, like, we live in a time, digital transformation, do check an agency portfolio. Look at this. So people are looking at portfolios. So I want to have portfolio on my agency, for instance. Field of specialization. If you say, yeah, we do everything, that wouldn't be it. So people are looking at, they need a field of specialization, expensive market research and whatever, company values, define goal and vision. So these are the two things that we can use in our copy, right? This was one example. Let's go back to our presentation. This was the 200 Quora questions. So how do I select the digital marketing agency? That's one. Best digital marketing agency, second question. So you have to look at 200 questions. I know it's hard, but this is going to take the most of your time. 60 to 80% of your time will be the research for you to become an expert, and then you write the copy, right? And then what we have, go to Facebook Ads Library. So this is a great resource as well. So it will help you to become an expert again. So Facebook Ads. So what this will do is you can go and spy on your competitors' ads or any ads you want, right? For example, we're in Australia. You're going to select all ads. This is, by the way, I put the link in there. Let's say we want to look at Nike's ads and we are Nike's competitor. And let's look at what they're using in their copy. Introducing new Australian national football team kits available on something. This is a really bad copy, to be honest with you. But Nike probably doesn't need brand more, explanation. Everybody knows Nike. So it's like a exception to the rule. Members get the best of Nike. Join easy and free. So they're pushing you to become a member and so on and so forth. So you can look at their ads, right? What they're using in their copy. But Nike is not a good example. Of course, it's a super established brand. So this is one. You have the link. You go type in the name of the brand if they're running Facebook ads, or if they're running Google ads, you can look at Google ads and analyze their copy, what they're using, what you can what other people are using. You can use them in your ads too, and then check 15 to similar landing pages to your product or service. It's not enough that you only check ads. If you're writing for a product page, that's your copywriting that you're going to do. You want to look at landing pages. If you're looking at, if you're trying to write a product description, you look at product descriptions, 15 to 20. And you look at all the possible resources in here, and you, of course, are free to do more, but this is the minimum. Don't write less than this. This is extremely important. All right, see you in the next one, guys. How we doing, guys? This is the most important part. We are finally getting into the bread and butter of the copywriting. So the structure of a copy is extremely important. You're going to use this on Facebook ads, on, let's say, any type of ads that you write, LinkedIn ads, on Google search ads. It's probably not that feasible. You cannot write it because they have character limits. But if you're writing ads, this copywriting is mainly media, writing for media. If you're writing a blog post, if you're writing an ad for a native, blog, or if you're writing on a landing page, long form product page, this will be really important. All right, the headline, the main goal of the headline, and we're gonna cover first headlines right after this, is to get attention and draw the attention to the sub headline. So if they read your headline and they say, whatever, I know this guy, what he's gonna talk about, he's probably one of those guys. If they think, you're lost. You don't want to have that happen. So your main goal of the headline is getting them to read the sub headline. If you don't have a sub headline, your goal of the headline is to get them read to the first paragraph, first sentence. The photo, they should illustrate the product fully. So I see this mistake all the time on Facebook ads. They want to be super native. And I've seen a lot of big guys talking about this as well. And it's a big mistake. They put a photo of them with their girlfriend, or their photo of them walking at the beach, their photo of them doing some random stuff like you always see on Instagram. What they think is they want to look native on the platform. They think, my CPM will be lower. If you're not familiar with Facebook ads, these terms might confuse you, but I'm talking about for those who will understand it, but it will make sense for you too. They post stuff that are like you would see from one of your friends post on Facebook, right? And they will not understand it's an ad for a while, so it will gain them 2 or 3 seconds. And Facebook algorithm likes those types of ads because they don't shout like an ad, they don't shout like, this is an ad or something like that. A random person walking on the beach. And Facebook loves that. They love not a lot of text on the ad itself, on the video or image. Facebook love it, and that way they will have lower CPMs, which is cost per 1,000 impressions. But what happens at the end is they don't sell. So your main goal is destroyed right at then and there. So your main goal is to illustrate the product fully. They know it's an ad. After 2 seconds, you cannot, trick people. They will see your copy, and if they will see the sponsor, they will see it's an ad. If you don't have the product image, if you're selling an information product, I know it can be harder, but you can still find easier ways to illustrate at least the product or service. If it's a service, you cannot put an image of a digital marketing agency because there's no such an image, right? But you can still find a way to illustrate, putting some illustrations. You can put the photo of your agency, people working together, driving results, image of an ad account, a lot of return on ad spend. That can be a possibility, right? Copy. Convey the main selling message of your product. Of course, it will be long, so don't look at this and say, it will be one sentence. On Facebook ad, there are 2 types of copies. 1, short form, 2, long form. But usually I prefer long form copies because they always convert better. Make it as long as possible, but with short sentences. Paragraphs, paragraph headlines. By the way, you're gonna have a long copy, and people, when they see a long chunk of copy, they will get scared, right? So how can you make it less scary, less imposing? So you use paragraph headings. I will show you an example in a second. And the price. Price is really important. Could be large or buried. How can you bury a price? If your product's price, let's say over $750 or $700, that's the overall ballpark, you want to bury the price of your product and service, right? And if you have a long funnel, you don't have to put your price up there. Let's say you have a funnel, you get them on a landing page, and on the landing page, if you're selling an information product, of course, and the landing page, people watch a video, a free seminar or a webinar. In that case, you don't want to put the price of the product, right? But if it's cheaper than $700, you definitely want to put your product in your copy. But if your product price, or if the cost of whatever it is less than $100, you definitely want to put it in the image itself or in the copy as shouting. It should be shouting. If it's less than $100, you want to put your price on the main thing, right? It should be on the image, it should be in your copy, it can be also in your headline, but I don't suggest putting in the headline. I suggest putting in the copy, but don't bury it. So why? Because it is cheap. It is considered cheap in every scenario, right? But it is, if it is more expensive than your competitors, you can still bury it. Burying it, I don't mean like you know, using some sleazy tactics not to show your price or something. I say, you know, using that copy in, let's say, at the end of your copy, you know, before call to action, and say, you know, for the price of 2 coffees a day or something, you can purchase the product only $99 per month or something, right? Logo, it is good to have a logo, but it's not a must. But of course, if it's on your website, you must put a logo. But if you're providing, let's say, a single image, you should also put a little logo, so it will build familiarity, right? But if you're doing a video, I don't suggest using a video. Maybe at the end of the video, the screen cuts, and then you put your logo. It will build familiarity in the eyes of your customers, right? I will show you how that structure looks on an ad. This is a newspaper ad, guys and girls. What you see is that this is an ad by Joseph Sugarman, which is proven to convert like crazy. It converted like crazy. Pocket CB, this is the headline. This is the headline, and we're gonna cover headlines in a minute. And then you see the sub-headline. And you remember seeing those, you know, paragraph headlines. Bam, 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 bam. A lot of paragraph headings. And you might be thinking, oh, this is too much text. But they're not imposing. People are not getting scared off. Why? Because you see many personal uses. Long-range communication, very simple operation, a major breakthrough, extra long battery life. So these are features and benefits. But what this does also at the same time is breaking that copy into pieces. So it's not that, you know, imposing and, you know, scary from the eyes of the customers, right? So let's read. The Pocket CB is a really simple headline. If you ask me, it's not the best headline, but it is one of the OGs who wrote this. New integrated circuit technology and a major electronic breakthrough brings you the world's smallest citizens ban transceiver or something. Anyways, by the way, a good rule of thumb for a sub headline, if you want to use a sub headline, always make it 16 words. 16 words or less. You don't want to exceed 16 words. Let's see how many words there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And there's 8, and there we shouldn't count those. And it's right about there, 15 words, right? Paragraph headlines, you can see the photos there and clearly illustrates the products. Clearly illustrates. You want that to happen. And there's captions underneath the copy. If you write a blog post, that's important, but for an ad, for a Facebook ad, it's not necessary. This ad by itself brought millions to Joseph Sugarman. This is a proven copy. You think, oh, people don't read that much. No, it's not true. You see he put his ad here, copy here, and back in the days, this 39 is probably like 100 today, right? Inflation happened, and he put the price there as well. It's not buried that much. I think it's like pretty clear, pretty bold. It's not that buried. And response device. So here, call this, and our call to action will be, you know, called here. He put the call to action here, but what we want to put the call to action as in, you know, click button, click this button, click this. And as you can see, a lot of images and clearly illustrating the product itself. And these are really important, breaking that long copy into pieces so they can read easily, so they don't get scared. Oh, it's too much text, too much text, I'm gonna skip it. That's really important. Let's see one more. Still by Joseph Sugarman, the OG. Vision breakthrough. All right, that arouses curiosity, and I will cover headlines in more in depth. And you can see it clearly illustrates the image. And this ad is proven to bring thousands of dollars back in 1990s. When I put a pair of glasses, what I saw, I could not believe, nor will you, right? This is really intriguing. Along, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Perfect. 15 words, as I said, not passing 16 words, the sub-headline. Vision breakthrough is really kind of curiosity and news elements induced, and we can see he still broke the copies into little pieces by smaller paragraph headlines. We can see the logo, we can see a clear call to action, but we can see the price is kind of buried, as you can see, 34 and 59. And probably the reason he buried this one and not the other one is probably this one is a little bit more expensive than the rest, right? That's one of the reasons. Let's see another example. Bam, Rolls-Royce, which was a breakthrough ad which converted like crazy, right? At 60 miles an hour, the loudest noises in this Rolls-Royce comes from the electric clock. So it is showing you how easy it is to write. A clear picture of the device, the product, and a great headline. And the headline is like a testimonial headline, which is not really popular, but it works. This is done by David Ogilvy, right? One of the OGs of advertising. What makes Rolls-Royce the best car in the world? Question mark. There is really no magic about it. It is merely patient attention to detail, says an eminent Rolls-Royce engineer, which is a testimonial, again, builds a lot of confidence. And you can see it is not broken. It is broken into chunks, smaller chunks. Bam, 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 1, 2, 3. It's like a point by point, 13. And the price, you can see it's kind of buried because it's a little bit, Rolls-Royce, a little bit expensive, and $13,000 back in those days, probably a little more expensive today. And we're gonna cover headlines now. All right, let's cover the headlines. Headlines is important, guys. As I said, first, what people look at first, maybe the image or the headline, but usually the headline takes the first place taken into taking attention. So the headline should have 3 elements. So your headline, if you're writing a headline for a Facebook ad, for a Google ad, for a LinkedIn ad, for a TikTok ad, for writing a blog post, organic social media post, your headline should have self-interest, or either self-interest, curiosity, or news element. If your headline doesn't have none of those, your headline will fail, 100%. It is proven by John Keppels. This is a John Keppels structure that works. I did not discover this, but it works like hundreds of years, right? So self-interest. What is a self-interest? When a person reads your copy, there has to be something that they can gain from your ad. So they have to be like, oh, okay, let me check this ad out. What does he have to say? Boost your income in 2 months. You don't have to, write a number here, or boost your income. Right? It says something about you. They're talking to me that I can have something out of reading this ad. They'll be like, boost my income. What do they mean? Like, there has to be something in me, right? If they say, let's say, this book helps you. This book gives you a lot of knowledge on wealth, on finance. They'll be like, okay, so what, right? They won't care. Boost your income with this book, they'll be like, oh, okay, so it is going to help me earn more. So they will read it. Curiosity. This is another element, but the biggest, most important element is self-interest and curiosity. News element, it can be good when it's used in its place, but if you use it overtly, it won't really convert much. All right, curiosity, new features of Ford truck discovered. All right, they'll be like, oh, what the hell? Because usually people are used to seeing those type of new stuff, right? News, like curiosity-inducing headlines on, let's say, you scrolling down on your Instagram, you see like a BuzzFeed headline, BuzzFeed post, right? On this woman in India can solve problems in his head, a math engineer cannot solve, right? Curiosity, you'll be like, oh, what the hell? Let me read. Let me find out about this woman, right? You read, or this girl has 20,000 Tinder dates and she shares how she did it or something, right? You'll be like, what the hell? Let me read this. Curiosity. And curiosity works really well. So the person will say, okay, new features of Ford truck discovered. Oh, let me read that. What do they have in mind? But if you, as I said, combine those, they will perform way better. And as I said, never try to be clever in the ads. If you ask people who read the ads when they make a clever ad, really funny, inserting jokes and stuff, when you ask a person, oh, it is really funny, oh, I like that, really clever. But when a person is in a buying mode, it will be totally different. So you have to always think about a buying person, not a person judging your ad. So you are not trying to impress the judges or a survey participant. You're trying to make them make the sale, right? Be simple, be to the point. Let's look at the news element. News element lost 35,000. News, right? It should look like news. It should look like from the news, right? This could change the world, and right? This could change the world. This is just like right out of BBC or New York Times. This entrepreneur is hated by many. They'll be like, what the hell? Who is this guy? Let me take a look. News element. But as I said, news element used alone is not that powerful as curiosity and self-interest. Let's look at the examples of headlines. There are two examples, and let's think about which one converted the best. By the way, these are tested examples. I did not make those up. These are tested and proven. So let's check which one converts the best. Here is one question you shouldn't ask your wife. By the way, the first two, this A and B, the first example, is from a life insurance headline example, and they tested both. You can laugh at money worries if you follow the simple plan. Think about it. Which one converted best? Give your example. I'm waiting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. If you said A, you're wrong, because the B converted better. Let's think about why B converted the best. Here is one question you shouldn't ask your wife. First and foremost, it's not about life insurance, and there's no tie about this, right? There's no self-interest first whatsoever. They say there's one question you shouldn't ask your wife. Okay, I shouldn't. They're addressing you, but there is no benefit to you in that headline. You're not benefiting at all whatsoever. So there's no self-interest, just curiosity. Just curiosity is not going to beat self-interest and curiosity. So you want to combine each of these three elements. You don't have to use all three at once, but you can pair them. Self-interest and news element, or self-interest curiosity, is the best combinations. Let's look at this one. You can laugh at money worries if you follow this simple plan. So it is telling me that I'm going to have a lot more money, or I don't have to worry about money, which is implying that I'm going to be richer or maybe save money, right? There is self-interest. If you follow this simple plan, okay, I'm kind of curious what the simple plan is. Self-interest, curiosity, bam. It made more sales. Let's look at the other one. So B is the winner here. How I saved myself from boldness. Okay, that's good. How a strange accident saved me from boldness. So B converted better in this case. B was the winner. But let's think about why B is the winner. So how I saved myself from boldness. How? Think about it. This is self-interest. Okay, he saved this himself from boldness, but how? He's probably selling a product or something, right? They already know you're gonna sell them a product or service. So this is, okay, so if you have boldness, this is probably a self-interest headline, but no curiosity. Let's look at this one though. How a strange accident saved me from boldness. So if you're bold, this is self-interest right away, and strange accident automatically provokes that curiosity element. So B made more sales again. So B drove sales in both because they combine self-interest and curiosity. If you combine them both, you make sales, no question about it. But of course, your copy will play a huge role, and the most important thing I'm going to cover now, your headline has to make them read the sub-headline. If you don't have a sub-headline, your headline has to make them read the first sentence. Let's look at the examples again. So this makes me want to definitely read the sub-headline or the first sentence. This makes me want to read the sub-headline or the first sentence. So you have to want to make that. Lost 35,000. Does it really want to make me read the first headline? Maybe. I mean, it's kind of interesting, like it's newsworthy, right? Maybe I want to read it. Curiosity. There's no self-interest. I might read it or I might not. So that's why I said self-interest has to be something in it about them. And if you combine self-interest with curiosity or news element, they will definitely continue reading your sub-headline or first paragraph, first sentence. How are you doing, copywriters? The first sentence is going to be critical. So you're going to be asking me, Jim, we covered the headline and we covered the sub-headline, which takes almost a similar role, but it has to, second headline is not a must. That's why I'm not covering it, which is not that important. On a Facebook ad, usually we don't use sub-headlines, but you can use a sub-headline on your landing page. And as I said, 16 words is the limit for a sub-headline. And of course, if you want to use a sub-headline, the goal should be making them want to read the first sentence. All right, let's cover the first sentence, and this is really important. After headline, this is going to determine if people read your text or read your ad or landing page or not. So make each sentence short, but headline even shorter. Let's see some examples. Losing weight is not easy, right? It's not clear. People want to read, okay, so what is easy then? Or is there any easy way? Or is there any trick that he's going to sell me, right? They've wondered. What we want is we want them to read the rest of the copy. So when a person sees this, it's you against the computer. When a person reads that, they'll be like, let me read what he's talking about. I'm kind of, intrigued. I'm kind of curious. It's easy. What is easy? Let me read the next sentence, right? It had to happen. They go, what had to happen? What is this? Right? They're even more curious now. They're going to read. Hats off to IBM. So what did IBM do? It had to do something. That's why the advertiser was writing about it, right? Or on your landing page. So you see a pattern here, right? It is short and it is almost incomplete. Almost incomplete, right? I give you an example. And of course, after this, you will have a really good understanding about this. But there is a really important thing about these first sentences. What is the goal? In the first sentences, we want to use the first sentence as the head of a locomotive. As you can see, here's a big locomotive. But what we want to do is we want to actually use the first sentences as the head of the locomotive, is the controlling train. The whole copy will be controlled by this, the first head of the locomotive, right? So we're going to make it incomplete, so the users, the readers, will have to jump on the previous locomotive to see what's going on. We want to complete the whole train. Imagine your copy as a whole train. If you give the features and benefits in the first sentence, it is an incomplete. Usually it looks like in real life, this is the first head of locomotive, and you say, yeah, this is $25 and you get XYZ. On your Facebook ad, if you write that, bam, that's just the head of locomotive running by itself. You're not carrying any weight, you're not carrying any goods, products, nothing. People are not going to be intrigued to read it, and they're not sold. Unless it is a super bargain, let's say an iPhone being sold at like $100, the brand new iPhone. Unless that's the case, you're not selling them anything expensive. It's impossible. They're not hooked. They're not sold yet. You cannot sell them. You have to think of your whole copy as a locomotive. And as I said, this controlling station is your first sentence. Always keep it short, and people want to read more. Let's look at why I'm saying this. As I said, almost incomplete. Let's look at the sentences. There is no a complete sentence here. You cannot understand anything by looking at the first sentence. Losing weight is not easy. You might think, okay, this should be something about, like a diet pill. It can be something about diet program. It can be something about, a diet book. It can be something about, I don't know, a trainer program or a fitness trainer. He's selling his service, a gym ad. It can be anything about fitness. It's you against the computer. It's even broader. Don't worry about, if I don't tell them what's it about, they will be scared off. Or if you think about, I've seen this a lot. Even recently, it's even more popular. They think, Jim, like with the attention spans are so low with TikTok and Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts, they're not gonna have time to read it. They're just gonna skip off. If I don't get their attention in the first, sentence or tell them what I'm selling, they're gonna be scared off. Guys, this is not the place or the time for your offer or for your whatever you're selling. It's not the time or a place. The first sentence has a purpose, and in the first sentence, you don't want to give that away. Never, ever. As you can see, all these examples are short and incomplete. Why? Because we want to get them to read the second sentence. And even in the third sentence, we don't want to sell them anything. In the third sentence, we're still building up. So the bigger the takeoff area, the bigger the plane we can take off, right? We can fly. So imagine like this. If you're selling, as I said, a really no-brainer product in a really no-brainer price, you can get away with a bad copy. You can get away with not using this structure. But if you want to sell something which is similar to your competitors and they can go to Amazon and buy a similar product at a cheaper price, you're missing out. You won't be able to sell. They will go to Amazon. So you have to hook your reader. And what we have here, never, as I said, never give the features or benefits in the first sentence. So the first goal of the first sentence is to get them to read the second sentence. And the second sentence's goal is to get them to read the third sentence, right? When I first started learning copywriting, this was a hard thing for me. I struggled a lot about this, right? I was like, oh, I'm gonna miss it. And back when I started doing copywriting, TikTok wasn't even around. So I was thinking, I was still thinking that attention spans are super low and people are gonna be scared off. They're not gonna look at it. But no, if they don't look at your headline, if they look at your headline and don't read your first sentence, your headline is the issue. Not your first sentence not showing the ad or anything. Like, no, the first sentence doesn't have to offer a product or service right away. If they don't read your first sentence, don't blame the first sentence. The blame is on your headline or the image. So if they read your first sentence and they don't read the rest, that's not your customer. You're not going to sell to 100% of the people you're reading it. It's impossible, guys. It's impossible. We want to convert the people who are our target customers. And we see this time and time again. Even our target customers are going to have tons of objections to your offer. And they're probably going to less likely to get your offer in product or service, whatever, right? Because they have tons of objections. They might see more details from your competitors, and they might not be able to buy from you, right? That's the goal. What we want to do, provide as much information as possible with a good tracking system. So we have the train, it is tracking from one station to the other, one station to the other. When they come at the end, they'll be like, shit, I'm ready to buy. I'm ready. We want that to happen, right? All right. Get them in a yes train. So this is a really great example from a car sales dialogue with Joseph Sugarman talked about in his book. This is a really great example, and this yes train, a really successful car salesman used this yes train to make the readers actually say yes when they're reading a copy. So let's say a guy called John walks into a car dealership and he says, he looks around and the car salesman walks in. Hey, John, I see you have a nice BMW. And he says yes. He got the first yes. What happens then? If you have this beautiful brand new, but I think you can use a new one, he will say, oh yes, because he's in a car dealership with his BMW, right? You know what, John? I think you look like a person who takes care of himself and always pays super attention to detail. He's gonna say yes. You know what, John? Our newest BMW model actually includes this, and it's super attention to detail. The engineers really paid attention to the interiors, the exteriors, or whatever it is, and then he'll be like, oh yes. So you already got the yes. So he wants to be coherent with his previous sentences, previous yeses. So he said, yes, you pay attention to detail, you pay attention to yourself, you have a BMW, and you will look for a new BMW, and he's going with the yeses. Yes. So what ends up happening is, of course, you're not going to magically say, do you want to buy this product? And he walks out with BMW. No. You get them into the yes train. When they're in the yes train, they're less likely to jump off your copy. That's the important part. So once you get them into the yes train, so let me give you an example. You can do this in everything, in any type of product or service. Let me give you an example. You will understand it way better. Here's my landing page for a digital marketing course that I did. You can see my headline here. run ads like a pro in 7 days, almost guarantees a certain thing, and they know what's it about. Become a certified digital marketer. It gives them a different type of feature in product, which is not ideal, but I put it in here, which the headline can be changed for sure. Not the best, but look at what I did here. The main purpose I'm showing you this is look at the first sentence and the second sentence. Not satisfied with your current salary. They're gonna say yes, I'm not satisfied. Let's look at the second headline. Want to switch careers. Yes, if they're not satisfied with their current salary, they will probably want to switch careers, right? If they don't want to switch careers, I lost the customer here. And my main goal with this copy is to go after people who want to switch careers and want to earn more money. And then I will introduce, as I said, my answers are, it's not your fault, and I'm comforting them. What I'm doing here is, not satisfied with your current salary, I want them to give me a yes. If they don't give me a yes, I lost the customer there, right? So you can use this in, like, let's say back in the days, they were doing this yes train method face-to-face. But a lot of big copywriters, Joseph Sugarman is one of them, he's using the yes train. But always, it is not a must. It is a technique that you can use to introduce in your first page, first sentence. As you can see, I used it in my first sentence, not satisfied with your current salary. When they read it, they'll be like, what the hell is this? Let me read what he's going to try to sell me. But as I said, the headline gives this away. So I would change this headline. With this current knowledge I have, that is not ideal. That is not that compatible with this first sentence. But keep that in mind, this is a landing page. The landing page is kind of different than an advertisement. Advertisement can be, if I'm running an advertisement, this headline could be a little bit more vague, so a little bit more interesting. There's self-interest, but no curiosity, just self-interest. Here, self-interest, no curiosity. I could have maybe introduced more curiosity when I'm running this as an ad. That's what I would change if I was running this as an ad on my advertisement. But on the landing page, it's a different story. But let's look at this again. I want to underline this yes train method. You can see, not satisfied with your current salary, they're going to say yes. Not want to switch careers, they're going to say yes. But don't ask vague questions. So if they say no, they will think, this offer is not for me. So there are some quick tips. Provide questions where the answer is always yes. So if the answer is, I don't know. If the answer is, I don't know, they're going to jump off your copy. So the point of no, the point when they say no, they stop reading and they're not your customers anyway. So don't be discouraged. You're going to be thinking probably, some of my students said that to me, one-on-one students, Jim, like I want to use the yes train, but I'm kind of, not confident I'm going to lose prospects. But at this point, they're not your prospects, right? If your answer qualifies the prospect, question qualifies the prospect, and the answer is no, you didn't lose anything. Let's say you're selling an iPhone for $1,000, right? And your question is, do you have $1,000 and want an iPhone or something? This is just not a good example, but if they say no to it, they can't buy your iPhone anyways. You're not losing anything. You're just eliminating people who don't have money, right? This is a really bad example. Of course, don't use a headline like this, but you get the point. And yes, we want to hook them up front. The main point of these questions and the yes train is we want to hook them up front. Why? Why we're not giving them the fruits and bread and butter right away? Get this course, this modules, 5 modules, 20 hours of learning material. Why? Because we want to hook them. So once we hook them, if they read 25% of our ad or landing page, there is a high chance, like 90% chance, 90 to 70% chance, and this was a proven and studied data, they read the whole entire text. That's why the first sentences, and there are a lot of tricks like yes trains and questions and incomplete sentences, is once they read 25% of our text, of our ad, they will read till the end. And what does that mean? We give them testimonials, we give them call to action, we give them our offer, we give them why our offer is better than our competitors, bam, bam, bam. And at the end, they buy. All right, see you in the next one. Seeds of curiosity. So at the end of each paragraph, what we're doing is we're putting a short sentence or a short set of words that are gonna make the readers read the next paragraph. For example, but there's more. So let's say your paragraph ends and people will say, okay, otherwise what people say is, let's say you have a call to action or say, yeah, this is the product and we have amazing, quality and stuff. And then you say nothing and continue with the next paragraph. People might actually escape the copy or scroll down or, quit the landing page. Why? Because you didn't give them a reason. If there's no call to action and you still continue to copy, they might exit the page right away or scroll down the ad. So if you put, but there's more, or so read on. But I didn't stop here. Here, let me explain. I use this a lot. Let me explain. You say something, and then if you stop it and start a new paragraph, people might jump off. You don't want that. You kind of, tie the top paragraph and to the bottom paragraph that you're going to come on, and you just tie them together so people continue to read on, right? Now here comes the good part, or the best part is, once you say those things, those are little tricks, but they help ton. So here is one example from my landing page. This is the Jim's Digital Marketing 0 to Hero Digital Marketing course, as I said. So let's take a look at this landing page, guys. So mastering a high income skill will get you the desired salary faster than any other alternative, right? If I'm talking 6 or 7 figures. If I were to cut this right then and there, what would happen? People might not read this. There's a big chance that people might not read this. So what did I do? I put, but there's more. Keep on reading. So I insert this little seed of curiosity. So people continue, oh, there is more. Okay, so this is not finished yet. So it's subconsciously we're directing them to read the next paragraph, which is super crucial, and a lot of people miss this. You see a lot of top copywriters, they divide the big chunks of copies, but there's no tying in between those two paragraphs. There's no reason you're given to the reader to continue read on. All right, so we say, but there's more, keep on reading, bam. So I urge them to continue reading, and then they will go ahead and say, average digital marketer manager makes 151K, are they special? No, and go ahead, right? It goes on. Let's look at one more example. This was my landing page copy, by the way. Feel free to steal this. This is like, but there's more. Keep on reading. Just insert it at the end of your paragraphs. This will make a huge difference. Let's look at this one. I think this one was from a copywriter. I don't remember his name, but it was a top copywriting pieces. Like, it sold like crazy, right? Let's take a look. It goes on and says, he likes startups. I like leveraging already existing businesses. Time went by. Okay, so he didn't cut it right there. So time went by, he insert this little thing, and we are expecting something to happen. So I'm not gonna stop it here. It's like giving a hint in the movie, and then you're not, giving the end of the movie. People freak out. So that's what we're doing here. Let's go down and see one more. Actually, the result was quite benevolent and invaluable to the public, as you will see in a moment, as you can see. So if they were to cut this here, okay, whatever, they will say whatever and skip it. There's a high chance they will skip it. There are gonna be some people who will stick on, but this little thing you will see in a moment, as you will see in a moment, or let me explain, but there's more, but this continues, but wait for the kicker. Those kind of little phrases, the seeds of curiosity, make them itchy to read the whole thing. As you see in a moment, bam. So it is crazy, guys. By the way, this presentation is attached in the first module, so you can download it and go through as well. Let's look at another one. This is, by the way, the top copywriter, Gary Halbert. So this is one of the OGs in the copywriting business, and of course, direct mail advertising back in those days, but his son is now doing copywriting as well. Anyways, let's take a look. So he goes on. We can see there's a big chunk of paragraph. This was in the newspapers, by the way. He goes on. Discolored teeth. There's a good reason for this. You see, right? So you see. So this is urging me to read this thing. So you see and ... I see what? And then people go read the next one. Let's look at this one.
Not only that, those some chemicals are they carry it through your bloodstream to every organ in your body and gives you sense of well-being. Therefore, so Gary Halbert does this quite well. I will show you one more Gary Halbert example. He loves to use the seeds of curiosity. So we can see he is putting therefore. He's using that combining words like conjunction words. Like he's putting therefore, so that, and then dot dot dot. You have to read the next paragraph to understand what's going on. What's next? Thus, therefore, or let me explain. You can use one word like this, therefore, so that, but, however, or you can do better, let me explain. But the kicker is, dot, dot, dot. The next paragraph goes on. So people won't feel they are reading like a whole bunch of text when they're reading your copy. They feel like it's like slippery slope from they're slipping from the waterfall thing. What is it? They have it, water slide or something. Anyways, so it's like they feel like they're on a water slide. They don't feel like they're climbing up the copy. That we don't want them to feel that way. So that's why we're using these seeds of curiosity. Let's look at one example which gonna bring the point home. This is by Joseph Sugarman. Joseph Sugarman is one of the greats again. Let's look at the example, what he did. I'm about to tell you a true story. If you believe me, you will be well rewarded. If you don't believe me, I will make it worth your time and worth your while to change your mind. Let me explain. Bam! So he's not cutting it here. So let me change your mind. If he were to cut it there, people will say, you know what, classic, sleazy salesman, he's gonna try to sell me something, but let me explain. Okay, explain. And then Len is a friend of mine, so let me explain is also gives like a great transition as well to a different topic. As you can see, there's like Len is a friend of mine. What does it have to do with this, the story or something, right? So he starts the story, but let me explain is a really good transition. Again, all right, so this was the seeds of curiosity. All right, now we're covering the big idea. The big idea is usually can be confused a lot. So I've seen a lot of big business owners, they think they don't have a big idea, but they actually cannot take that big idea out. So every copy they say, don't sell the product, sell the big idea. What is the big idea of your product or service? There has to be a big idea. I can already see some of you saying, oh, Jim, like I'm just doing advertising. What can it be my big idea? Everybody does advertising. Everybody does X, Y, Z. But you can inject big idea into your copy, right? Or product, however you advertise it, right? So big idea can be also known as the concept, the USP, unique selling proposition. When you go to, if you watch, Big Shark Tank, what is your unique selling proposition? They sometimes ask. Or in marketing courses, they say positioning. What is your positioning? What is the position of your product? How do you want to market that? Or what is your unique thing? What makes unique? What makes your product unique? Why should I buy from you where I can buy from, go to Walmart or Target and buy a cheaper version? Why? Why should I buy from you, right? So it is like finding a unique features or a feature or a benefit of the product that can be explained in one sentence, in an elevator pitch, you can say. But you're gonna say, yeah, Jim, I don't have one. Just skip this part, please. Please hold on. I'm gonna show you how you can make the big idea out of your product. I will show you some products that has already built in concepts and big ideas. If you see concept, it's a big idea, position, anything. It's the same thing. So don't get confused, caught up on it. So you can see this projector, this wireless projector. There's a huge idea in it, right? What is the huge idea, big idea in it? You don't need to have like a huge cinema room or a huge screen. You can project it to your wall. Bam. It was like a transformative product, and they sell it in drop shippers sell this all the time. And it's usually drop shippers go after products that has already built in concepts, already built in unique selling propositions, right? So what is this concept? Concept is you don't need a big screen, bam, projected on your wall. You have a huge built-in screen and it's portable. You can have it anywhere. And this treadmill probably weighs like 10 kilos or 20 kilos. If you're from the States, like 50 pounds, 45 pounds. I don't know, maybe 20 pounds. I don't know, it's pretty light if you ask me. Like, you don't have to carry what a normal commercial treadmill weighs. They probably weigh like easy 100 kgs, easy, right? What is the unique selling proposition in this product? Portable, right? Portable treadmill. You can put it, it doesn't take up too much space. They don't become like laundry hangers. Usually these treadmills become laundry hangers after a long time. And let's look at this one. What is this? What is this? A dumbbell, but you can have literally 10 different dumbbells in this rack. So you switch a button, this has a unique selling proposition. Those two dumbbells stand for like 10 different weights, right? So you don't have to have a set of 10 different dumbbells filling up your room, unnecessary space. That's the USP. That's the concept of this dumbbell. That's why it already, like these concepts, they sell automatically, right? Why? Because it creates a position for your product or service. And once they have those already built in, so if you discover something, it will have a unique selling proposition, right? A unique feature or benefit. And that will easily help you promote your service and product. Why? Because already built in, right? Let's look at this one. The ball thrower. If you ask me, it's not that necessary. Just grab the ball and freaking throw it, right? But they created this thing and it gives a little bit more leverage, I guess. It throws it faster or a little bit further. And what it does, creates a unique selling proposition. It creates a concept. You don't have to swing too much. You don't have to be strong. Just flick it and then you throw the ball. There's one more. You don't even have to throw the ball. It automatically throws it. You just control it with the remote control. Bam, unique selling proposition. There's the concept. This light, book light, and they have different types of lights. What is this? It gives you a style. You don't need the old, boring as lights, that old school lights. You can have a modern concept in your house. These are modern examples. But I will show you one example, how we can actually create a unique selling proposition or a concept out of a really boring product or service. Let's do that, shall we? All right. Let's inject some concepts and big idea into our products. Let's say I'm selling popcorns. What is a popcorn? It's pretty like everyday thing, right? It's an everyday thing. Everybody knows popcorns. There's no unique selling proposition. But what I can do is I can market it as Netflix popcorns. What it does is I inject a concept on a boring product. So once people watch Netflix, they can identify that with my product, right? Whenever they watch Netflix, they're like, Netflix popcorns. Or you don't have to use the name Netflix if you don't want to get into some, copyright troubles. You can say popcorn and chill. So it creates the same Netflix and chill type of phrase. They will immediately associate that with your product. So it creates so it's not like everyday popcorn you can buy all the time. It is Netflix popcorn. There's nothing special about it. We just injected that unique selling proposition. We just injected that concept. There's nothing unique about that inherently, but we injected it, right? That's the good part. I will show you one more example. Here we have a basic t-shirt. Literally a plain t-shirt like this one I'm wearing right now, white, there's nothing going on, simple, it's not fitting me perfectly, this part is not really looking good. Anyways, right, it's a boring ass t-shirt. What can we do to make it like unique, right? If you bring out some features, inject some features at least. A special t-shirt that fits your arms and baggy on the belly side, so your problematic sides don't show off and your arms look bigger. This is actually done by True Classics and they did it amazingly. Their t-shirts are literally boring t-shirts that you can buy from Kmart and Walmart or Target or Big W. What they did actually is they injected a unique selling proposition into those t-shirts. They're marketing to the guys and saying, yeah, it will hug your arms, but it wouldn't fit, like it wouldn't hug your guts too much, so you don't look fat, but you will look, arms will look good. And I will show you a video on it, how they're positioning that, and they're making it like a big thing. No, it's literally a normal t-shirt. And the guys they're using in their ads are like jacked guys, right? Of course they're gonna look big, and they're guys with like a big belly and big arms, and they say, yeah, it's hiding my gut and hugging my arms. Of course, like, you're a big guy, right? If you have a baggy t-shirt, it is gonna look like that on you. So they literally injected this concept, and true classic, the classic t-shirt that fits perfectly, right? It's like a one-liner elevator pitch. What that did is that created a great selling point for them, and they're using in their ads. They're probably making a ton of money. If you see one ad, after time and time again, that specific ad probably making money because they're using the same ad on and on and on. They don't want to waste money, apparently, right? That's a golden rule in advertising. If you see the same ad over and over and over and over again for a year, try to get something out of it, because that ad is printing money. And this is the guys, the concept of printing money. All right, let's see the video now. Stay tuned. We'll watch the video first.
Johnson, you're fired.
Why?
It's not you. It's your shirt.
But it's Casual Friday.
Well, you've taken it too far. Look at Gibson. He's wearing a true classic tee. It fits him tight in all the right places, but leaves the perfect amount of room in the front.
God, I hate that guy.
He looks so damn good in that shirt, he can basically do whatever the hell he wants around here. Gibson!
Yeah, boss?
You're a goddamn stud.
Thanks, boss.
True Classic is designed to enhance the male physique in all the right places. Right, Jimson?
That's right, boss. I have strong arms, but also a little bit of a gut. But you wouldn't know because I wear True Classic.
And if you're a skinny guy, True Classic fits tight around the arms and accentuates your biceps.
But how can Jimson afford premium t-shirts? He's the worst salesman here, and I don't even think he can read.
Damn it, Johnson, we all know Jimson can't read. But at least he knows that True Classic is completely affordable. And if you buy right now, you can get 20% off your first order.
I don't need to know how to read to know that over 200,000 people gave True Classic a 5 stars.
Good job, Jimson, that's right, 5 stars.
5 stars? Let me try one on.
My God, Johnson, I don't know how I never noticed before, but you're stunning.
I want a raise.
Consider it done. But wait a minute. Are those True Classic pants?
That's right. I just got them off the website. And get this. They even have activewear, polos, long sleeve tees, fleeces, and even socks and underwear.
Incredible. Jimson, why can't you be more like Johnson?
Well, what should I do, boss?
Jimson, you sexy fool. Isn't it obvious? You need to go to the True Classic website and buy all of those items right now. Click it.
Click it.
Click blank.
Click it. Click it now. Click it. Click the link.
Yeah, as you can see, guys, how they injected the unique selling proposition in that product, the concept in that product. It is absolutely crazy. Now your assignment is under this. You would definitely need to finish this assignment to continue. Definitely do the assignments. They're really important, and take care. How are you doing, guys? Today we are going to cover the most important part of this copywriting course. If you're ready, let's get into it. This is going to be the to-do list, the essentials. How are we going to write the copy? What are we going to pay attention to? We covered the basics. Now let's get into nitty-gritty details. All right, fasten your seatbelts. Let's go. Typeface. This is important. Use serif, not sans serif. So don't use exotic fonts that you want to associate your brand with. People don't care. To be honest, do you remember any brand that comes to your mind that you associate that brand with a certain type of font? No, of course not. But people tend to fall into that trap thinking if they use a specific font, their customers will remember them better, right? That's not the case at all. And there's a research done. Serif type font is proven to be the more stays in your customer's mind. They can understand what you're telling way better than other font types. So it has a greater comprehension as opposed to other font types. So that's why I urge you to use serif on your website landing page. On Facebook, you have no much of an option, so you use whatever you're given to, right? On Google as well. But if you're using custom stuff on your social media, on your website, on your editing Photoshop, or whatever advertising method you use serif. This is going to be crucial for your success.
First sentence. We covered this, but I want to go over this again. Really important. Keep short and easy, and the goal of the first sentence is to make them read your second sentence. And we gain the interest in the second sentence, we're going to maintain the interest. And we have to create another compelling reason for them to continue. So we don't want to give them, oh, this is our offer, $49.99, and they will stop reading. Whatever you have benefits and features and everything, they're going to skip that. Never give the full price then and there in your ads, right? Landing page is a different story. Paragraph headings. You remember that we covered, we have big chunks of paragraph. We divided with, small paragraph headings that I showed you some examples of. If you don't remember, go back and see the modules, the first modules that I covered. That will be really important. So the main goal of this is to make the copy less intimidating. Thus, we encourage them to read the rest of the copy, right? It can be something irrelevant. What do I mean by this? Let's say I'm talking about, the benefits of a hoodie, right? Or it covers you from, sweating. It's anti-allergic, non-allergic. You don't get allergies. It's not polyester. It doesn't make you smell, even if you don't wash it for a week or whatever, right? Talking about the features and benefits. But the thing is, if you put no more sweats, that is quite understandable. You can do that as well. You can put relevant stuff in there, but you can put jailed. What does jailed mean? Being sentenced to jail or prison, right? People will be like, what the hell? And you talk about, you somehow connect that with, let's say, how can we connect the hoodie into a jailed headline? How? Let's think about it. By the way, paragraph headings are totally different than your headline. Headline has to be relevant. It has to arouse curiosity, or it has to have some self-interest and news element. These three are important in the headline. But paragraph headings are the small ones that breaks the huge chunk of the text into smaller sections. This is totally different. Then we can be irrelevant here. The jail, how can we connect it to, let's say, in this case, our example was hoodies, right? Jailed. You will never feel that you're prisoned into your hoodie when you're running. It will be breathable and so on and so forth. You can say that. Product explanation. This is critical. So explain a product in a simple way. But this is critical, guys. Pay close attention to this. Explain a simple product in a complicated way, but explain a complicated product in a simple way. This may sound counterintuitive to you, to whoever you're listening to right now. If you're not paying attention, it might sound counterintuitive. So pay attention to this part. So let's say we are selling a pen. We have to insert some, big idea in that pen, right? Because pen is one of the most used products on the face of the earth, right? That's why we want to use or input or inject some type of big idea concept. When we do that, the product becomes complicated, right? We want to make that sound complicated. But if the product is so complicated, we want to make it sound simple so they understand. That's the catcher here. So if the product is super common, we want to make it sound complicated by injecting big idea and the concept, right? As I said, the pen example. But with a super complicated product, it's a brand new invention, the copy has to be long, but we want to make it simple, right? We want to make it easier for them to understand. We want to include all of our features and benefits in the copy as well. New features, this is different than product explanation, and we are introducing a new feature that is different in the market, right? We can say this is a big idea or the concept as well. This is different than the normal product explanation. Technical explanation. Guys, you probably haven't seen this one anywhere else aside from this copywriting tutorial. Because why? People say be simple, and I say that too. You write your copies in a way that 5th grade or 6th grader can understand it. But the kicker is here. Make your technical explanation in a way, in a different section that people think that you are the expert in your industry and you are selling something that you know a lot about, right? That's the critical part. The main goal of this is you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this if you're not confident in your writing skills and you are starting new in copywriting. Don't do it. It might get even worse in terms of, you know, the outcome, performance of your, you know, whatever you're doing. But I suggest if you are complicated, or not, sorry, if you're advanced in copywriting, you can write complicated technical explanations. As I said, don't write your whole copy in a technical way, but sometimes in a way, let's say you're writing 10 different paragraphs, right? Using paragraph headings like this bad boy, paragraph headings, and with the technical explanation, you're going to allocate one paragraph only for the technical explanation. You get into nitty-gritty details. Why? Because we want them to think, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about, because I haven't seen any in-depth explanation from any other source. This will create credibility. Credibility is, as I said, one of the most important things when you're selling a cheap product or an expensive product. The more expensive the product, the more credibility we need, right? That's why having technical explanation will enhance our chances of selling the product, right? As I said, don't make the whole copy technical because our customers will fade away. We just want to make one paragraph technical, and it is not a must, as I said again. Anticipate objections. As I said, I covered this part, but think about your face-to-face with the customer and imagine they ask you a question and you have no answer. They're going to run away. And think of the copy as the same, and often the products, let's say some physical products, they're going to require some installations, right? If we don't have an installation service with the product, we don't want to hide it. We want to say hiding, like if we don't have a service that is required in selling that product, we want to put this right up in their faces. So it will create honesty, and if they are not sure about buying that, and if you hide that in the copy, they will not buy. Trust me, I tested this. And if we put that fact blatantly in their faces and say, yeah, we don't have installations, and you can, you know, have the installation, whatever, from your, you know, service provider or something, they are going to be more likely to buy because there's clarity in what you serve, what you offer. This is our chance, resolving objections. This is our chance to resolve the objections, handle the objections. If we don't have an answer, we can offer them alternative solutions. What is the alternative solutions? For instance, if we're selling a huge TV that has to be mounted on the wall. If we don't offer that service, we should offer an alternative solution. What is the alternative solution? If you don't know how to mount that product on your wall, you can call a service guy or a handyman to do it for you. Or you can provide a handyman's phone number for specific areas. Or what you can do, you can give them a link for an Amazon product for them to put the TV on, right? We can try to find relevant alternative solutions, and we want to put that into the copy as well. Gender, avoiding as many possible, trigger words that we can, right? So we want to, like in this day and age, we live in 2023. We also want to include other genders in our copy. Let's say they, them. We don't only want to address he, she. So these can cost us customers, and this can bring negative media attention. Be careful. Clarity, avoiding big words, making it clear, simple, and concise. The only exception to this rule is technical explanation. As I said, we want to be clear in 99% of our copy, but when it comes to the technical explanation, we can use our jargon. It doesn't matter they understand it. Our main goal in the technical explanation for people who are really in the nitty-gritty of the industry, but even if they don't understand it, they will think we are the experts in the industry. What we want to make only one paragraph, no more than a paragraph. Cliches. So there are some cliches that we want to avoid. These are some of them. it's too good to be true, right? Or my offer is too good to be true. And I'm one of the first ones to admit I use this a lot in my daily life and in my copies, but I am trying to eliminate it as much as possible from my offers. I used to say, yeah, it's too good to be true. Too good to be true. This offer is too good to be true. Guys, this has been heard millions of times. Here is the product that word has been waiting for. No, there's no such a thing, right? Don't use those. These cliches are used mainly when there's nothing to say. The rhythm, as I said, look for tongue twisters and take them out. So how can you find tongue twisters? I'm not talking about, the common tongue twisters that we all know we used to say as a kid, or we challenge ourselves to say as a kid. These are not the ones that I'm talking about. The one I'm talking about is, when you read a text and when you read it in your head, it flows. But when you read it out loud, you come to certain, pauses that, have variety of length of sentences. So don't be super monotone in your copy, meaning it has to be super short, super short, super short, super long, super long, super long. Change it, break it down a bit, and look for tongue twisters. This is the rhythm. Service. This is critical. If you're selling an expensive product, you must address the question of service and convey the ease of service. Let's say if you're selling a service base or generating leads, you have to convey the ease of service. Service meaning, if you're generating leads, there has to be some interaction. If you're trying to get leads or sell your advertising service, they're gonna need pixels to install in the website. They're gonna need, give you the creatives for the service to begin. You want to make sure that this type of service is super easy. Or if you're selling a product or an expensive product, let's say a TV, the example of mounting the TV on the wall, you want to make sure that if you have people coming on and mounting on the wall for them, for the clients, you have to make sure they know it. In this example, in selling a pinball game, for instance, good old days, they have this huge pinball game. So you press it, it just bounces all over the place, this little ball. And the buyer had concerns about the matter of service. So if it gets broken down, how am I going to get it fixed? And you have addressed those questions. Address them in a separate paragraph. So if you might have, don't ever think about, a customer should know. Don't ever think about that. Think of your customers as a 3-year-old kid that would always ask questions about, what if I get this? What if I order my pinball ball and if my ball is missing? What do I do? Address that as well. Be super, super specific. Think about their really, really third grader kids. I don't want to use the word stupid. So they have to be really oblivious to what is going around the world. Think about it that way when you're writing a copy. But avoid cliches as in they are extremely smart, right? So it is tricky to get it at the first time. So when I first started, I was like, the customers are super savvy. They're gonna know every cliche. They're gonna know what I'm trying to say. If I'm selling a course, they probably know there is video tutorials, but they don't know that. I was mistaken by that, right? When I first started writing copy, I thought they knew all the video tutorials was gonna be in there, all the support is gonna be in there. If it's a course, they're not getting texts or templates. They're just getting video tutorials. They don't know it. You have to make it clear so they have confidence in buying your product. The main thing we want to do here with the service thing is building confidence, building clarity. So when we build clarity, they will justify the logic with their emotional decision and say, oh yeah, they provide everything. I'm really clear with what I buy. Because people, the last thing people want is thinking they made a stupid decision. How you can eliminate that making the stupid decision is providing as much information as possible. That way they will think, oh, okay, I know everything about this product or service and I made the right decision, right? We want to have them think that way. Physical facts. If this is a product only, by the way, let's think about it. In our copy, we must mention all the physical facts. All. Weight, dimension, size, limits, smell, taste. The box will be delivered in such a package or material, right? Everything. What if we are selling a book, for instance, right? We can only talk about, you know, the dimensions and everything. But what if we want to talk about what's in the book? I will give you a quick example here. Let's grab this link. Don't worry, I will show this page right now. All right, we're coming to it. It should come up now. Sell Like Crazy by Sabri Subi. All right. Now we can see this landing page, right? I showed this landing page to you before, but I'm going to show you something else. All the physical facts. Let's see what I'm going to show you. So if you're selling a book, this book is telling you about, in this page, this is what I'm talking about. In this page, this is what I'm talking about. He could have easily done, let's say this book weighs like 5 pounds, or this like 100-page book. No. So what he's doing here, take a good look at this. Page 191, the 17 fastest sales product secrets known to man. These go against every something gurus. The single best way to attract highly profitable dream clients. Page 20. So he's talking about on what page you're gonna get what, right? Super in depth. Look at this, page 108, the secret value-based marketing. How to write Google and Facebook ads. Page 198. So this is super in-depth, guys. So let's go down. And page 106, I will reveal this. A buried case study, right? Page 111. So he's talking about all the detailed pages that he's gonna cover. So this is physical facts. Of course, it's a product, but in service, you can do this as well. This is an example of a product page, but in the services, what I suggest you do is, in let's say in first week, we're gonna put the pixel in your website. Or if you're a real estate owner, in the first week, you will get tons of deals. In the second week, you will find your ideal dream buyer. In the third week, we will seal the deal, so on and so forth, right? Being extremely in-depth. Trial period. What I suggest in trial periods, or if you have a trial period, if you don't, I suggest you do have one. And trials and refunds extremely increase the buying decision and likelihood of them of buying your product or service. The longer the trial period is, the less chance there is to deal with a refund. This is critically important. If you put, let's say, 7-day refund, you only do refunds in 7 days, they will feel the urge to rush through it and increase chances of refund. Why? Because they will think, oh, okay, I only have 7 days, I have to make a decision, oh, I will refund, get my money back. They will do this. But the more time you give them, the more likelihood they're going to forget. This is one. And the more likelihood they're going to invest more time in your product or service. That's why you're going to get less refunds. This is a proven technique, by the way. This is done all over and over again. And this also creates, okay, this guy is giving me 3 months of refund period. He has to be really confident in his product, right? It will also create this type of thinking. And if your product is unusual, always offer a refund. If your product is a breakthrough in the industry, always offer a refund, because they are unfamiliar and unsure about what you have to offer. Always keep that in mind. Always keep that in mind, please, because they are not 100% sure of because what they're gonna get delivered. In this case, we want to be offering tons of opportunities of refund, lifetime refund. There was this course by Masterclass, and they had all the big guys like Kris Jenner as she was teaching branding, Richard Branson, he was teaching entrepreneurship. So in that course, we weren't sure what they were going to teach, and it had like a subscription. So with this subscription, it wasn't unusual because we are used to paying for just one course and being done and over with. But this was a subscription based, like Netflix, but Netflix for education, right? But it was kind of unusual. So it wasn't something like, oh, this is the course, pay for the course, or it wasn't like this is, Stan, Disney, Netflix, Hulu, or you just pay a subscription. It was like a combination. It was kind of unusual. So they had lifetime money back guarantee. That's a good example. And the only exception, if you don't want to do refunds, let's say you're selling literal toilet paper, or let's say you're selling a microphone, right? It's a super commonly known product and the value is so strong, such as you're selling an information-based product. Let's say once they have access to that information, you cannot get that back, right? So they will have that information for life and they paid for it, right? That's the deal done. If you think in that way, that's the only way, and it has to be a really familiar product, such as I said, a really well-known course or like a well-known service or product type, right? If it's a t-shirt, you don't have to offer a refund. But a new type of t-shirt that is, sweat-proof or something, you should offer refunds. If there's a unique big idea or a concept change in the product, always offer a refund. Price comparison, this is a big part. Offer a comparison to another product. If your product, by the way, more expensive than your competitors, you don't want to offer the price comparison, you offer the value comparison, right? But if your product is cheaper, always focus on the price comparison and say that your value is still better. Let me give you some examples on this one. Here's what we have. As you can see, this is probably more expensive, so they are offering a value comparison. Fairy lasts 2 times longer than the next best-selling brand. It's a clear value demonstration, right? Not a price demonstration, but we have a clear price plus value demonstration. Ours is $6, theirs is $18, right? So they literally showing that they are offering a better value with a cheaper price, right? So they are offering the price comparison here, but these guys is probably more expensive. They're offering a value comparison. That's the ideology. Testimonials is critical. If you ask me, out of these, testimonials is the most important section of this whole thing, right? If you can get away with a bad copy with tons of testimonials. Sabri Subi, as I said, is one of my favorite direct marketers in today's 21st century. Look at this. All the people, like tens of people holding his book, and he is building social proof. He could have been just like, this is free, guys. He was only covering shipping. The book was free. He could have said, guys, this is literally free. I'm not going to offer tons of testimonials. It's not worth it. He could have said that. But even with a low price point product, he's trying to build credibility. That's critical. And these are the less desirable testimonials. But if you don't have like normal testimonials, go ahead and use great shoes, 5 stars. Name or place and date. Always put the place, date, and the name and surname, right? These are critical, and also put the 5 stars there. So use photos, videos, and texts, but I will write this. The order should be, the best one is video. If you don't have video, definitely get some video testimonials. If you don't have video testimonials, use photo testimonials. If you don't have photo testimonials, use written testimonials like this. But as I said, always have video testimonials. This is going to build credibility. These can be faked easily. I can go in, type in the fake reviews. Photos are hard to fake, but they can be faked. But videos are almost impossible to fake. So that's why if you source video testimonials, chase your clients. Even if you have one client, chase them. Make them as happy as possible, and then you will get ton of positive results out of that testimonials. Let's look at these ones. They have written and video, and if they don't click on the video, they have photo. So this is the best case scenario, right? You can see they're not only putting the name, surname, they're also putting their credibility in the industry. You can see this is a credible guy, CEO of something, and they put a video on and also text. Some people are going to be in a public space, they don't want to play the video, but they will feel comfortable, right? Knowing that it is a legit video, if they click on it, they can watch the testimonials. They're probably not going to watch it, but definitely put it in your ads, remarketing ads. In remarketing, video testimonials work the best. But if you're going after cold audiences, you don't really need to use testimonials. But on your landing page, on your product descriptions, if you have an e-commerce store, if you have a business or a Shopify store, dropshipper, if you're a dropshipper generating leads, doesn't matter. Your website landing page has to have tons of testimonials. I'm talking about like if you have the space, or if it doesn't impact your page load speed, put hundreds if you can, right? Put hundreds. Put lazy load, lazy image load. You can do that. Go to Fiverr and Upwork, find a guy. He will speed your website up while you have all sorts of videos and texts, right? Critical. Price. Let's cover price. Price is critical. If we are selling a product at a very cheap price, we want to use bold and large types. But we want to see the price, people to see price clearly. But if our price is a little bit more expensive than our competitors, we want to underplay it. But underplaying is the key word here. We don't want to hide it. So once they get to the checkout, they will see the price. No, we don't want that. But if we are generating leads, we never want to put the price on the ad itself, and we don't want to put the price on the landing page itself again, because we're generating leads. What happens when we're generating leads? The salespeople call the leads and try to sell them the product and service. Offer summary is really important. A lot of people miss this. And the offer summary is at the end of the copy, or the website copy, or landing page copy before the call to action, or right before we get them to say, okay, click the link under this ad and take action. We say, so here's my offer. I'll order 2 of these pots with Teflon coating, and you will receive two pots plus our handy cookbook, right? For only $19.95. Or what we can say this, let's give an example for this copywriting course that you got. Get this. So here's my offer. Get this course in pre-sale, which in pre-sale it was $78. Get the course in pre-sale for $78, and you will get lifetime support from me for $78 only. After the pre-sale, the course price will skyrocket. Click the link or click the button under this ad and make the purchase. Right? Super clear. We summarize everything. Ask for the order, and people, guys, this is really important. I have to underline this. A lot of people, and even in social media, so people in social media think, you know what? If they like my content, they will follow me. That's the worst thing you can do. Do you ever, did you ever realize how many people on YouTube, if you've been watching YouTube, right? I'm sure all of you are watching YouTube, right? For some reason. Do you ever realize how much they ask you to subscribe? If you like this video, subscribe, like. In all YouTubers, there is not one that they don't ask you to subscribe. Why? Because something is working, right? Something is working. If you don't tell them to subscribe, they forget, always. Even with the call to action, I urge you to buy this at no obligation today. So we want to underline that. As I told you the example in previous modules, I was running an ad, and literally under this ad, there's a call to action button to learn more. People said, I am interested. What should I do? Literally, there's an ad there commenting down, but they're typing in, I'm interested, what should I do? I'm interested, please send me the product. They're that lazy. You want to give them extremely clear instructions, like click the link under this ad, click the call to action button under this ad, click to learn more, and go to the website and add the product to your basket, and or whatever you have on your landing page, or put on your email, put your phone number in, and click the link under this after you fill it all up. So people definitely forget. So this is really important, and this seems like, Jim, please skip this. This is too easy to forget. Guys, I used to do this a lot. I was thinking, if people like my content, they will subscribe, or they will like, or they will share or follow. Once I started telling them to please subscribe if you enjoyed this, my subscriptions skyrocketed. In TikTok, on Facebook, on Google, or whatever platform I'm on. Google meaning YouTube, right? Google owns YouTube. On YouTube subscriptions, Instagram followers. That impacted a lot. And Alex Hormozi has a great quote on this. He was he had a podcast for like 5-6 years for now, right? He started in 2017, and he had like a growth like this. Steady growth, right? Steady growth for years. And he started to put, if you like this video, if you like this podcast, please share, please do share. This is the only way we can grow and start. At the end, in the middle of the podcast, he put the call to action, asking for order in his case. And he explains his content, the ranking of his podcast on Spotify skyrocketed, exponentially increased, just by putting a simple call to action. With your ads as well. If you're on your ad, if you're speaking, doing this, like putting features and benefits on your ad, or you're, put like a clear image as an ad, you want them to tell you want to tell them to click on the ad or click on the link below or do whatever the desired action is. So otherwise people literally forget, they're too busy or they're sometimes stupid, right? So we definitely want to underline that. All right, after this, we are gonna cover the psychological triggers that make people buy. What actually, so these were the technical aspects, right? These are the technical aspects, the fonts, the what you should write, what you should cover. And now we're gonna cover the psychological triggers. What actually, gives us the push to want to pull out that credit card and buy. These were the tactics that you can right away implement, and the psychological triggers will help you to actually get into your customer's brain and understand what makes them buy. So you write with purpose. Take care. Now we're covering psychological triggers. So this is going to be a handful, and I'm going to break this into 2 or 3 parts, right? So let's cover the psychological triggers. And these ones are not going to be technical, but we want to cover and incorporate each section into our copy. Always keep that in mind. These psychological triggers make people buy. These are the reasons why people buy a certain product or service or become a lead, right? If you're even in real estate, those psychological factors, triggers, are going to play in a role for a person becoming a lead. That's why we want to include everything in our advertisement, right? Let's go start with the first psychological trigger. This is the feeling of involvement and ownership. So this is, let's say we're going to feel we are in the action of owning that product, right? Let's say we're doing a test drive. Right, that's why like big brands of cars, like all the car brands actually do this test drive. Why they do that? So they want to feel the involvement, the ownership of the house, right? Because it's a big purchase. That's why we have that. Let's give some examples. So there was actually a time they were selling TV knobs. Back in the days there was no remote control. When they walk into the store, right? Once they were actually about to buy an electronic, right, the product, let's say washing machine, a TV, but in this case, this was the experiment they done in TV knobs, right? Once they walk in the store and they turn the customers the TV knobs, they actually have a chance, 50% chance of buying. But if they don't turn on the TV knobs, they don't experience that feeling of involvement or ownership, so their chance of buying drops to 10%, which is crazy. That's why, so in this case, once we are selling online, we don't get the chance to make them feel the involvement or ownership. They cannot actually touch the product, turn on the knob. So how can we do this? How can we use this test drive example in the car? We have to explain them, and they have to imagine they own the product or service we're selling online, right? So how can we do this? In this example, let's say we're selling a car. What we want them to actually own the car, right? But how can we do this in our online advertising? We cannot get them to test drive it online right away. What can we do? We want to make them imagine owning it. Let's read this example. Feel the breeze blowing through your hair as you drive through the warm evening. So when I'm reading this sentence, I legit feel myself in the steering wheel, like blowing the wind, the breeze coming into my, like massaging my hair, right? I can feel it. Watch the heads turn, like the feeling of ownership of the beautiful car. Push the accelerator and punch the accelerator to the floor and feel the burst of the pins, you know, like when you're driving the car, just pins to your seat. That feeling, right? And back into your counter seat. So that feeling actually gives that sports car ownership. That feels amazing, right? So if you can do this with an online course or with like anything, with a t-shirt, you can explain this t-shirt in a way as well. Feel once you knob that first knot on the tie, knob the tie here, and then you step outside and you can feel all the girls looking at you once you step out of the door and once you walk into that venue. You can picture that. We want to picture that. Let's move on to the other one. Honesty. Honesty is crucial. This is not much of an emotion, but we can use it. So it's a psychological trigger that we can use. We can use this as a technique, but it's a trigger as well. So this is crucial, but if you are not that advanced or not that confident, don't use it right away. But if you have some copywriting experience, if you have some experience in building landing pages and ads, use this, guys. This is gonna be crucial for your success. What can we do? So you're gonna say, this is the best course. Let's say I'm advertising this course, right? If I say, this is the best course you've ever seen, there is no flaws, this is like the best camera quality, the best thing, the best teacher, best tutor, the best exams, the best certificate, it's kind of, loses its believability. How can we inject some believability with some honesty, with brutal honesty? But even if you have everything perfect, it might seem too good to be true. How can we make it little bit more believable? Let's imagine. Think about this for a minute. If we claim some defects of our product, that will actually make our other claims more believable. Let's give an example. If the video quality in this course is not top-notch, it's not Hollywood quality, it's not, the lighting might not be perfect, me speaking on the microphone might not be perfect, but the content in this course is top quality. So once we accept some type of defect in our course, this will make the content, my other claims, more believable. You can do this with anything else. If you're selling in real estate, right? Even maybe like if you're not in a good suburb, you can say you don't have to, you don't have to overplay the suburb, right? If the suburb is in a shitty place, you don't want to play that, because everyone knows if it's in a shitty place, the suburb, everyone knows it's in a shitty place, right? You don't want to do it like, you don't want to portray it as it's gonna be an upcoming, wealthy people are gonna just rush to buy a house in that certain spot. If it's not a reality, you don't have to exaggerate or make lies about it. Be honest. Even if the suburb, you can say this, even if even the suburb is not in a well respected area in the city, the house is 100% more quality than you can buy in a wealthy suburb, because the price will be like 10x. If you can get this deal right now, then and there, you will be able to sell this house for 10x price in upcoming years. So you play that, right? Instead of trying to overplay that, you accept that defect, and that defect will make your other claims more believable. Such as, if you were to buy this house in a wealthy suburb, you have to pay millions more. You won't be able to save that much. This is a bargain, right? You have to play this as a, assume that you have that defect. Even if you don't have a huge defect, just play a little bit. So as I said, play a little bit is the key word here. So if you overplay that defect, people might be scared off. That's why it's such an advanced technique. So if you explain the flaw too much, people are gonna be, oh, that's a flawed advertisement, right? They're blatantly saying they have flaws. But as I said, it should be a flaw that is such a small flaw that you will be confident to accept in your product and put it out there in your advertisement. And then once you go on and explain your other features and benefits, they will believe those, right? That's a great way to inject believability. Let's move on to credibility. Credibility is extremely important. I think is one of the most important things, as I covered. The credibility is going to play a huge role when you are selling your product way cheaper than your competitors. Let's say if you're selling the same thing for 10 bucks when everyone is selling for 40 bucks, there has to be some credibility. Otherwise, people will say, is there a catch? Is this like a monthly subscription or something? There has to be something, right? You have to give them a reason why you're selling this at such a cheap price. So for instance, Frank Kern did this. He's a online marketer. He said, I'm giving this course away for free, right? People will say, oh, he's probably going to upsell me something, and then they don't take action. How he actually overcame that problem is he said, I'm giving this away because I'm changing more into digital marketing rather than sales courses, something like that, because I think it was like a sales course he was advertising. Let's say if you're buying a large volume from Far East and you're able to buy the remaining stock from the major manufacturer for a lower price, this is how you can offer them such a low price. Or closing deal, we're closing up, so we're trying to get rid of our supply, or we want to get rid of our Christmas stock, so this is half price. So you can play a law like this and build credibility, as I said. So once you're doing like such a low price, you have to give them a reason why. Otherwise, if your offer sounds too good to be true, as I said, your customers can be really stupid sometimes, and sometimes they will be really smart. So you have to give them a reason, and in this case, we have to assume they are really smart. In our copywriting, we have to include that. Sense of urgency. This is really common, but if you don't know, I will cover this. Using sense of urgency can happen in two places, and a lot of businesses use it in the middle, and it's a big misconception and mistake. Use it in the beginning or at the end of your copy. You want to eliminate. So people, when they read an ad or when they go to your website, they will add to cart and they will not buy because they will think, I will think about it. I added to cart, but the last click, the putting their credit card number in and clicking on the purchase, we want that, and we want to have that an incentive. We need to have an incentive for them to act right now. So this is a urgency, but let's say we can actually waste a great ad without an urgency, because people are risk averse. As I said, they want guarantees. They want to do things later. They want to do things in a different time. They are maybe busy, or they want to wait a little, right? They're not going to find out any information when they wait a little, but they're just risk averse in nature. They don't want to take risks. So how can we eliminate that? By putting tons of urgency. For example, low supply. If you don't take action now, we're going to be out of the stock. Closing sale, product shortage, price will rise, limited time price, limited edition. You can sometimes make those up, but if you always have a low supply, people are going to be like, this brand is always have low supply. There's one advertiser in Australia, I always see that, it's Rudy Mayer or something. He always says, it is closing soon. Come on, man. I've been seeing his ads for 2 years straight, and he has the same sale, $97 last 30 days or something. He always goes with last 30 days, price will rise. For 2 years, I've been seeing the same ad, same price point. Now it loses credibility. As a person who knows this brand, I'm not going to trust any of urgency that he has on his website. So don't lose trust. Use it as if it's real, and if you have a real urgency though, it will be even better. Fear causes us to take action, and fear actually causes us to take massive action. A part of urgency is also linked to fear, and we sense the fear and say we have to act now, and it's also tied to fear, as I said. If let's say if a virus threatens people, and this is an opportunity to sell products to build immune system. But of course, we cannot always do that. We're going to have maybe clients, or you have a certain product and service in place, so you cannot always use that. But fear of crime is another good example, right? So if you're selling safety products, fear of aging is very powerful, like selling anti-aging stuff, right? But you can try to brainstorm what your product or service is helping them in a way that they're escaping from a certain fear, right? Let's say fear of being poor or staying poor, and you're selling something for them to get rich, right? So this is something that you need to brainstorm, and if you find that point, incorporate that in your action. And also a really important point, fear of losing is always greater than the pleasure of winning. So let's say you say earn 100K a month, 100K a year salary with this course. This is gonna be less powerful than, let's say, you are missing your chance to earn 100K a year. So you have some artificial thing that they can lose, and this is way more powerful than they can gain something. Always think about that when you're writing copy. Fear of losing is always greater than the pleasure of winning. Instant gratification. So when we are selling online, the tangible product or service, it will be hard for them to have instant gratification. That's the issue with online advertising, right? But we can guarantee fast shipping, and literally huge businesses like Amazon, they grew by fast shipping. And with digital products, it's actually easy to offer them, instant gratification, ebooks, instant gratification, courses, instant gratification. They can access it right away. So those are great things. But if you're offering a product, let's say, you can try to do your best for, let's say, fast shipping, right? Always offer a fast shipping if you don't. That's gonna increase your chances of getting that sale. Exclusivity, rarity, and uniqueness. It's also known as scarcity. Scarcity and urgency are different, by the way. Scarcity is something that is limited, urgency, they have to act fast. Let's go over. Prospects that feel they are special, if they buy a particular product, they will to a small group that is envied, such as owning a Mercedes, Bentley, Ferrari. You covered this. But an object or service grows in value when there's a limited supplies. This is the case with NFTs, right? They were selling NFTs when they were a limited supply of a certain point. They're like special rarity cards. They are scarce. They don't have much of them. That's why they're expensive. So how can you use this? Let's say you're selling a coaching program. I can only have 3 people in my coaching group this month. So hurry up, I have only 1 spot left. So you're creating urgency by scarcity. That is critical. Simplicity. Simplicity is another great emotional trigger. Simple offers get more sales usually. So if you, in one advertisement, if you have a carousel offer, let's say on Facebook ads, if you put a bunch of different products in one ad, your chances of selling the product will be way lower, right? So more option confuses people when they're about to buy. On a landing page, don't give more than 2 options. I suggest only have 1 option, but people used to love to do like this popcorn ad. They have really common popcorn advertising. They have a decoy middle option, which makes the higher price option looks cheaper, like a bargain. It's a great way, but I usually suggest have 1 offer and offer that as a bargain. So the more options confuses people. Test results show that actually the sales decreased compared to a single ad. In the ad, by the way, this is crucial. Never try to offer a bunch of things because people get confused. But when it comes to payment, more options, because in the payment method, they are already in the buying mode. They already decided to buy that product. So if you give them PayPal, credit card, cash, check, more offers, they'll be more likely to buy. You can make some parts complex, like technical explanation. We covered that part, but other than that, everything should be super simple. Human relationship. Always explaining the product, how it is going to feel when they use that product or service. In this case, we want to have a hand holding the product, a person using the product. That's why testimonials are so important. We can see here a hand holding the product, and this also gives a perspective of how the product looks in the hand rather than like a super high quality photo shoot, which is in the background. There's nothing tangible, like it just sits on the table. We have a super photo shoot. They usually used by higher end brands, which don't usually convert for regular brands that try to be high end, right? So always keep that in mind. Use testimonials, use people holding your product or service. If you don't have a product, you're going to use testimonials as a service. People are, in the office maybe. You can use that as well. This is going to build human relationship. Storytelling is huge, huge, huge when you want to capture audience's attention. And it's a huge way to bond the prospect and also keeps them engaged. But using that in the ad is not as profitable as using that in your email campaigns. Because email campaigns, people are used to seeing tons of, like promotions. Now, if you tell a story, people will get hooked. But on the ads, it's a different story. But of course, you can still tell stories in your ads. But as I said, it will be a little less powerful compared to emails. And most interesting salespeople have a story to tell, and most successful salespeople always incorporate stories. Keep that in mind, please. Mental engagement, this is an advanced technique. I will show how this is utilized now. As I said, keep it simple, but mental engagement can be powerful if you are advanced in copywriting. Easily understandable movies usually don't give us joy. Why? Because we know the ending. We know the main hero is not going to die. But if in a movie everyone dies, even like a main character or something, we get hooked. We don't know what's going to happen in the next season or in a TV show. So we want to use our brain a little bit to engage in that ad or in that landing page. For instance, the more we actually work to reach a conclusion eventually and succeed in that conclusion, we get more joy out of it, and it stimulates our brain. Let's give an example. Let's take a look at this ad right here. The Psycho chronograph alarm sells for $300. The watches cost jewelers $150. And jewelers love the item, not only because of the excellent reputation of Seiko brand, or whatever how you pronounce it, but because of it's probably America's best-selling new expensive digital watch, and Seiko can supply enough of them to their dealers. Let's take a look. Where do you think they use the mental engagement model here? Take a look at this. The Seiko chronograph alarm sells for $300, and the watch costs jewelers $150. Here, they didn't say jewelers are making a bunch of money, $150 for themselves as a profit, 50% profit margin. They're not saying that. They're letting us assume that it's a reality, right? So notice that the jewelers didn't say jewelers were making a small fortune. They left it for us, the readers, to conclude as an example of mental engagement. You can do this a lot. You don't have to explain everything like you're giving this to a 3-year-old kid. My thing is, make it as clear as possible. A five grader could understand once they read it, but write simple products, a little bit more complex, and complex product is very simple. This is the key part. Let's look at guilt. Guilt is a strong emotional trigger. That ties to reciprocity. If you give them enough value in your copy, or if you give them such a good experience when you're writing the copy, they will feel the guilt if they don't buy your product or service. This is hugely underrated, and you want to use this. If you have the ability to offer them a free service, free trial, a free something, this will actually trigger the guilt response. They will feel obligated to give you back or buy from you. This is crazy important. As I said, rule of reciprocity. If you give something to them for free, they will feel the urge to give you back something, at least something. Let's say you're trying the sausages in like a supermarket. You try a couple of them, and then you have the urge to buy the product because they gave you something for free. That's rule of reciprocity, and this guilt playing your emotion because they literally just gave you something for free. So also with the same with car showrooms. You try the car, spend the salesperson's hours that you're like thinking about buying it, and some people feel the guilt that they wasted their time and they buy the car, literally. That's a thing. Being specificity. Instead of, let's say you always want to include certain numbers with specific numbers. Rather than almost 100%, you say 99.5%. This specificity will make it more believable what you say. It's like, admitting as some sort of defect, as we covered, as one of the emotional triggers, but it's a little bit different. Instead of, let's say, new dentists everywhere use the recommend CapSnap toothpaste, instead of this, say 92% of new dentists uses and recommends CapSnap toothpaste, the customer will think that we did a scientific survey and got that 92% number, right? General statements are almost always accepted as dots. But if we have some sort of like an odd number, like 92.5%, 95%, instead of like almost 100, almost every dentist, that doesn't give us like a number that we might think they're just making this up. But if you give like 89.9% of dentists, it will make them, oh shit, they really made a research, right? It's like sounding like an expert in a sense, right? It will make us look like we conducted research and we actually came up with this conclusion, with this data. Familiarity. This is crucial. This is a small technique that you won't be able to find anywhere else in the world. Look at all the copywriting courses, and this will be probably one of the best information that I'm giving you right now. It's like easily applicable to any type of writing, ad, copy, anything. But it's such a small tweak, it wouldn't make a huge difference. But keep that in mind when you're writing a copy or website landing page. Seeing someone from the same nationality in a foreign country creates strong attraction of familiarity. You want to use that in your advertising. Just imagine yourself in a country, everybody's from all over the world, and let's say you're from South Africa. You see one other person from South Africa, even though you don't know that person, you will have a huge feeling of connection. Even if that person has totally opposite worldviews from you, you will feel that you already know this person, right? That will create ton of familiarity, and with this you will like that person a lot. And what happens usually, and you know that person, get numbers and contacts, you go back to your country, let's say to South Africa, you're not gonna you contact that person again, right? Because you are in an unfamiliar environment and you found a person who is familiar with you. Let's say you're scrolling through your social media and you find a text that is using a lot of familiar copy, right? How can we use this? Let's see. Let's say in terms of numbers, 7 is a familiar number. Let's say you're, instead of $99, price it at $97, right? If you ask people to give a number from 1 to 10, they are more likely to give the answer of 7. This is a conducted survey. Let's say you want to write a blog post, you can say 7 ways to XYZ. If you want to write a headline for your ad, 7 ways to improve your relationship. Let's say you're selling a relationship course, relationship service advice, right? Or in terms of colors, people choose red. They're more familiar with the color of red. If they were to choose an object, they will choose chair, more familiar. So these are, by the way, conducted in research. The majority of the people choose red in colors and chair in objects. So try to use them in your ads. Don't try to stand out too much. Those are familiarity. So if you stand out too much, they won't feel the emotional trigger of familiarity, right? Let's go. Hope. A woman buys a new face cream because it will create the hope, the emotion of hope, that she will get rid of her wrinkles. That's actually ties to selling a cure instead of selling a prevention. So an intense golfers usually buys a new golf ball that offers the hope of it may take a few strokes of a golf game, right? Let's say you're buying an elbow sleeve for basketball, and that will create a not false hope, but it's just to create a hope that it will increase your range of shooting a free throw, like a 3-ball, right? 3-pointer. Or you buy a certain type of caffeine pill to, with the hope of that is going to help you study harder a little bit, right? And get better test scores, or, be more productive. That is just a hope, not proven. So instead of, I suggest, giving guarantees, give hope. And with this case, Facebook, if you advertise on Facebook, for instance, they will ban you a lot. So you can get away with bannings if you don't guarantee anything. If you guarantee a certain thing, they will call your bluff on it and they will ban your ad account right away. And it's really painful on Facebook. So don't guarantee stuff. Only offer trials, free trial periods instead of guarantees. And give them the hope. So people buy with hope, actually. You cannot guarantee anything, literally anything. It's impossible for you to guarantee something. because you cannot be sure that person is going to take action on whatever you offer, right? You must say that product is used for without making any promises or exact outcome, right? You must say, so give them a reason, a hope that they're going to achieve at the end of, like, give them a reason and a hope that they're going to achieve a certain thing at the end of buying your product or service. Let's say you're an advertising agency. You cannot guarantee a certain return on ad spend, but you can give them the hope of 10x return on ad spend. You can give them the hope. You can talk about it, talk about the 10x return on ad spend, but you cannot guarantee that. You can give that hope. How you can give the hope? With testimonials, with the things that you've done in the past, with the people, with the businesses that you've given 10x return from their ad spend, and you can create that hope by previous experiences, right? So you in this case, you're not making any promise or promising the exact outcome, but you're creating that hope, right? So these are the almost 20 to 25 emotional triggers that you need to use that is going to give you tons of selling power in your copy. You cannot use everything at once, but try to incorporate at least 5 to 10 of them in your advertising copy. And see you in the next one. And next one, we're going to cover selling a cure and not prevention. Value and proof of value. This is crucial, guys. This is such a crucial part of a trigger. Even if imagine your customer is a billionaire, multi-millionaire, doesn't matter. They will still want to get the most value out of their purchase. Everyone loves bargains, but they don't want to buy cheap stuff, right? Or they don't want to get effed over, right? When they're buying a product or service. That's why we want to portray they're getting the best value out of their purchase. So a good copywriter must convey that they're getting the best value while building credibility. So provide logical comparisons. Logical comparisons, as I said, after we build emotions, they're going to decide if they're going to buy or not when they justify with their logic, right? So they will first get into that buying mood with emotions. That's how we're triggering that emotion here in this section. So let's give an example. They buy a Mercedes emotionally, right? So you don't buy just because it has such a perfect, speed or perfect something. They buy it because they want to belong to a certain group, right? But they are going to logically justify to themselves. Example. So we have to give them a logical reason, such as technology they have in the car, safety reasons, resale value. So if they buy it, they're gonna sell it to as such a higher price compared to like a Honda second-hand market, right? So you have to put those so they will feel, okay, I'm getting most value out of it. So justify the purchase is almost the same thing here. It almost ties to proof of value here. So we're gonna justify the purchase to the customer, so the customer can once we trigger their emotions, they say, okay, I actually can justify this purchase because this Mercedes is extremely safe for me and my family, right? When I'm driving, in case I have, God forbid, have an accident. If the product is super low ticket, you can get away with, let's say, you deserve it type of justification. But if it is a car or such a high ticket product or service, you must actually convey the value and the proof of value so they can justify it easier. Greed is one of the most important parts of emotional triggers, right? People love bargains, but they don't like cheapness. Specifically Western culture. If you're selling in Western countries like Australia, England, UK, Europe, United States. So they love bargains, right? Or let's say Louis Vuitton, they always have bargains, right? But they're not cheap, right? They're not cheap. They might say, yeah, we have only 5 of this specific product. This is scarcity, but this is also a bargain for them, right? This is also a bargain, but it's not cheap. It's quite expensive, but it is a bargain. There's a fine line in between those two. Attraction to bargains is a very motivational factor for people to buy your product or service. So the lower the price, the more units you can sell in general, but if you get too low, you will need justifications. As I said, credibility and also justifications of the price comes into play, that you have to explain that, yeah, I have to get rid of this certain amount of, supply because I got clearance sale or something like that, something along those lines. You have to give them some justifications, or you have to build your credibility in the case. Otherwise, it will be too good to be true and people won't buy. And trust me, I tried this, and this is a tested piece of information you need to absorb and study. Establishing authority, really crucial again. How can we establish authority? This is critical. People love to buy from big people. People love to buy from experts. They want to deal with experts. So let's say you go to an advertising agency and it's full of interns. You're not going to go there, right? But let's say if you're going to Gary Vee's agency, you will imagine he's such a big influencer. He's an expert in his field, and you will be more confident to work with this guy, right? So customers loves to do business with experts here. So if you're not the best or biggest in your industry, you want to be honest in this case. You want to say, even we're not, Gary Vee or top agencies in the world, we are the hardest working agency. So those guys, you can make a logical comparison here. If those guys, they are the experts and they trust that, but they're not going to put too much effort into your business and advertising, but we're the hardest working bunch. Right? So you can establish authority in a different way. So if you can find a way to establish authority in your field, even if you're not like the top notch in your industry. Let's say you are not the best brand of quality that you're producing sweaters like this. You can say you find a way to establish your authority. You can say maybe this is the warmest, right? What is the big idea in this case? So if you're the warmest producer of sweaters, like if you produce the warmest sweaters because of some type of cotton that you use, you want to put that as an authority, right? We are the best in terms of heating the body up in a certain degree or something like that. So you can try to build authority in a certain area. Let's say you are a guru on, let's say, marketing. You can say, I am the youngest marketer in terms of direct response marketing. You can put that, right? You won't be the best marketer, because there are Frank Kearns, there's Gary Vee, there's Grant Cardone, there's Alex Hormozy. Those are like marketers / business owners. But you can say I'm the youngest marketer in the area, right? You can find a way to come up with building authority, and also a simple name can build an authority, right? Let's give it an example here. American Symbolic Corporations sounds more authoritarian, right? But let's compare this to Jack and Ad's video company. Doesn't sound that much authority to me, right? So we can even establish authority with a simple brand name. Satisfaction, conviction. Huge. Trial periods are must. I covered this in logic, but the trial periods shows that you have conviction in the satisfaction of the product. Such as, if you're not happy with the purchase, just call me up. I will personally pick it up at my expense and refund every single penny of your purchase price, right? So you're literally saying, if you have no trial periods, people might think, this guy is gonna, I need guarantee. People love guarantees. Why? Because they want the sense of security. In this case, if we offer trial periods, we're gonna offer a satisfaction, conviction. It is going to be hard with, consumable products. Let's say you're selling ice cream online, a certain type of ice cream, a certain type of consumable. But even if you can still inject some sort of satisfaction, conviction there. If you don't like the taste, we will switch it with any type of other flavor that you like, right? They don't have to pay again. That will actually get that person chained into your brand, and they will love you for it. So try to incorporate those. Lack of satisfaction, conviction can cost your purchase, because it is going to be the last objection the prospect will have once they're reading your copy or advertisement or on your landing page. So they're gonna have, what if I don't like it? What if? That is going to be their last objection. What if I don't like it? What's going to happen then? If you put trial periods, refunds, they will say, okay, this guy has conviction in his product and service. So this part is also important, guys. Current fads. Fads meaning what is popular, what is catchy. You can think of it as a meme, as a the big thing in the market, in the news, or in social media. It can be anything that is catchy. Squid Game was a fad. It was really popular. What is it? The Suicide Squad was a big thing. And current Marvel movies, that was a big thing. So it generates publicity, right? What is creating publicity? Kardashians, the show was big thing. If it's a World Cup, that's going to be a fad at a certain time. So follow what's popular and make your ads or products fit into it. It's always sometimes hard to fit your products into it, but if you, let's say, produce different type of clothing, or if you're in drop shipping, you can do this, right? You can say, if you're an apparel brand, you can create Marvel socks, right? And you can sell them online, literally. You don't need a certain, copyright claim or something. I knew a huge brand in Australia. They were literally, I was running their ads, which was a bamboo brand or something. I don't know what was it. Their name was Bamboozled or something, right? I remember I went to their warehouse to talk to the manager there, and she was literally, they were selling Pac-Man socks in Australia, and they are really strict with the rules and regulations, without having the permission to advertise it. They were literally selling Pac-Man socks with the Pac-Man branding and everything. And she said, we did it for years, and just for the good gesture, we wanted to, have a deal with them and, make it legit. So you can get away with it. Don't really bother with trying to get a Marvel, advertising, because it will cost you millions, because it's such a big brand. And other length of the copy. So I get asked this question a lot. Some brands get away with really short copies, and some brands always go after long copies, and I'm one of those people who prefers long copy. And let's get into it. So there are two things that impact the length of the copy. So first, price point. So if higher the price point is, the longer copy is required for you to explain the service and the product. And also, if you have a lower credibility in the industry, so if people don't know you, or you have just a brand that comes out of nowhere, right? If you're not making, I would say, $1 million a year in revenue in sales, your credibility will not be too high. If you have no testimonials at all, if you're just starting brand new, even the fake ones, right? Some people get away with fake testimonials, but if you don't even have fake testimonials or real testimonials, your credibility will be extremely low. So at that case, you need a way longer copy. So you have to justify that, right? Just imagine yourself going to a car dealership and there's just the price of it, and you have no idea about the brand. Let's say BMW, you don't need too much explanation. Their credibility is too high. But if you go to a brand that you have no idea, you haven't heard of it, they just put basic stuff. It's diesel, 1.6, motor, and so on and so forth. You wouldn't buy it because you don't trust it, and it's a high price point investment as well. So, as I said, two really important points here. The price point, the more expensive your product is, the more longer the copy you need. And also, they made a test. I want to talk about this as well. They made a test, a copy length, regardless of the price, so you can never go wrong with a long copy. But I'm talking about if you want to write a short copy, and I'm giving you examples when you can use short copy, because it's kind of easier to go with a short copy because you don't have to write as much. But for a long form copy, you need to maybe spend days, weeks. Some advertisers spend months on a really good copy, right? They know it's going to convert if they are sure. Let's talk about this. 1 page converts worse than 2-page copy. 2-page copy converts worse than 4-page copy. This is Gary Halbert's example. He's one of the OGs in copywriting, in advertising. And 36 pages converts way better than 16 pages. So the longer is going to convert, the better, right? And unusual item. So let's say, what is an unusual item? Let's say if you just found a discovery, or you have a really unique selling proposition. At that case, if that's the case, you want to have a longer copy because you want to explain that unusual feature. You want to explain that unusual product or unusual part of the service. Let's say you have a super new model that is not, you're doing, let's say, advertisement, right? But your advertisement includes, let's say, you're asking money from the client. I mean, the cost of your advertising service is per lead basis. It's not that common, so you have to have a longer copy than, let's say, a retainer model. Let's say some advertisers I charge 500 flat, that's it. That's easier to explain in a copy, right? But if you charge by per lead basis, it's going to be harder to explain. So that's when you need a longer copy. Only way to get away with a short copy, by the way, is using a lot of product explanations, right? What do I mean by this? Photos, by a lot of photos of product explanations or videos. And also at the same time, it has to be a lower price. But we're going to cover some products that they get away with a shorter copy. How? Let's move on and see how. This is one example. When the credibility is super high, like these brands, you can get away with a shorter copy. How? So let's look at these examples here. Now we see Nike. Everyone knows Nike in this world. If you're not in a cave or if you live not under a rock or something, you know what Nike is. They are super credible. Everybody knows Nike, so they don't have to do a long form copy. They don't have to give a lot of explanations. They don't have to talk about why their brand is superior than Adidas or something. People know it. Free delivery and returns. They can get away with it. LinkedIn Learning. Again, LinkedIn, huge company, billion-dollar business. The state of learning, LinkedIn is a must-read industry report. So they're offering a free industry report, so we become a lead for them. This is B2B. Lululemon, for instance, really popular in Australia. I don't know if it's Australian brand, but everybody knows Lululemon. Not as popular as Nike, of course, but Western countries know Lululemon. Our 4-way stretch is designed to let you move the way you want from morning till night. It's okay, short form copy, right? They can get away with it. IKEA, billion-dollar business, Swedish company. Everybody knows IKEA. Ready for an exciting new career that will make you look forward to work every morning? We'd love to hear from you. Perfect. Not in a sense that, short copy is perfect, but they can get away with it. Why? Again, their credibility is super high. You can see Audi. That's a brand awareness campaign, not a direct response ad, but innovation meets power in all electric Audi e-tron. Experience the future of driving today. So there's a little tweak here. So when you're selling expensive products, you need way longer copy. But the thing is, they're not selling it online. They're selling it once you go into the showroom and they make the purchase there. So this is more of a brand awareness. Just keep that in mind. Because the more expensive your product is and the more unfamiliar your product is, your copy has to be long. And I will show you what a long copy looks like. Keep this, stay, fasten your seatbelt, guys and girls. So I'm going to show you really long copies, but they convert like crazy. All right, let's see one more. Zara Origins, a project focused upon building a contemporary wardrobe. Perfect. Small, steady, and really short copies, right? But they convert for sure. Let's look at the copies here. So I'm copying these links. So these are, by the way, examples of long copy for expensive products or low credibility but cheap products. As I said, if your product is cheap but you have no credibility, people might think that you're gonna, steal their credit cards or something. So they have to trust you as well. Credibility comes into play. All right, let's see the one example here. All right, this is one example from Sabri Subi. He's one of my favorite direct response marketers. He owns an agency in Melbourne, Australia. I don't know the guy personally, but I really admire his work. Anyways, let's look at the copy. And he has a long video as well. So some people think if I have a video explaining everything, I don't need to write the copy as long. But that's not the case. You should imagine people don't watch your whole video and you explain it with reading. So some people prefer visual, like they like to watch. Some people like to read. So you always have to think about as you're like using just a single image. So the length of the video doesn't change anything. If your ad qualifies for these the top sections that I just went through, you go with long copy. If it doesn't qualify, if you can get away with a short copy, of course you can go ahead and use it. All right. It's like a baby unicorn, tears of getting clients. Interesting. This is not a headline, but a first sentence. Look at this length of this copy and look at the shorter sentences. Harder, earlier, later, on the weekends. Goes on, goes on, goes on. Bam. This is a long form copy. This is a long form copy. Look at this. And it probably converts really well. And the interesting part about this is you will be really surprised, guys. Let's look at this. This is, by the way, a free book that he's selling. A book name is, I think, Sell Like Crazy, is it? No. Yeah, Sell Like Crazy. All right, we can see the website here he has. And he's offering this for free, literally. And what you have to do here is pay for the shipping, pay for the delivery, right? But the thing here is, the critical part that people are missing is this guy is not profiting from this. The main thing he's profiting from is bottom of the funnel. This is top of the funnel advertising. He, gets his book around, and once people need an advertising agency, they go to his advertising agency, and he, charges for his advertising services. Anyways, we're focusing on, so what we're talking about, if his product is cheap, almost free, you just cover the delivery. Why the hell he is using such a long copy? That's a great question if you ask that. Let me answer. Because he doesn't have credibility. I'm not rushing the guy down. He's a well-known figure, but he's not Gary Vee. He's not Grant Cardone. He has 50,000 subscribers on YouTube, right? It's not a super well-known figure. That's why he's using that. And also, as I said, this is not a transactional site. He's probably losing money on this, on the ads, on the front end. But on the back end, he is creating a big circle of top of the funnel leads that are going to come into his business when they want and need advertisement. Let's cover one more. Let's see who this is. Are you excited? Let's go. Let's see who this is. All right, this is Dan Lok. Dan Lok is also an ex-copywriter, but he's a really big influencer, like millions of followers on each platform, right? Huge follower. Let's check the copy length. This funnel no longer works for high-ticket coaching businesses. Back in the day, I could run. Oh, goes on and on. Look at this. Still goes on. It's a long-form copy. But it is not as long as it used to be back in the days. It could have been longer, but it is still a long-form copy. On Facebook ads, if you click see more here, it's a long-form copy. But let's think about, why did he use a long-form copy? He has credibility. He has huge credibility. But the price is not cheap. Let's check it out. So we can see here, he is selling us something, a ticket. Let's scroll down. Look at this copy, amazing. It's probably built on ClickFunnels. We can see all the testimonials here. He's being technical with the days, a lot of testimonials. And was something, free, it says, only for $97. Here we go. So this is $97, and it is an average price, not super cheap. Some people make these for free. So the main thing is, some people make it free, right? That's why he's not really on the upper hand here when he's charging for it. This is a webinar or a seminar, right? But he has huge credibility, but the product is kind of, similar and a little bit more expensive than what the competitors charge. That's why he has to write a long copy. That was a good example. Let's cover the other one. What do you think that is? Take a guess. I'm listening to you guys. Here we go. Megaphone marketing. They're spamming my feed, by the way. They're really active on Facebook ads. This is an agency, advertising agency. They have branches in, I think, UK, Sydney, I'm not sure, in Melbourne. I think they are in Melbourne as well. Let's see. So we clicked on it. 4 things you should be doing. It's not as long, but you can see that it is not a short-term copy. I would consider it in a short-term in the back-end mail order days, but let's see. Once we click get offer, their landing page will be pretty long. Let's check. Yeah, it goes on and on and on. Look at this. All the testimonials. We can go down, FAQs, exactly. So we can see a long form landing page, but they have a great form. This form being on top of the landing page has a huge conversion rate, and there are a bunch of testimonials they have on their website. And as I said, not a long form copy. I would consider this as a little bit of a short form copy, but as I said, their credibility is not that high. It should have been a little bit higher, longer, sorry, but they're still doing an okay job. I would give this 5 out of 10. Let's look at our last example, what we have here. Guess what it is? This is an Australian megaphone marketing again. All right, so this is a little bit longer. They included a testimonial here. There's social proof, social proof, social proof. The reason why I'm seeing this ad, by the way, this is probably a remarketing ad. So that's why they're hitting me up with a bunch of remarketing, testimonials, social proof to make me a decision. So get in touch today. Let's skyrocket your business. Note these are all established brands. So they are given a little disclaimer here. And as I said, so they don't have credibility. They're not a huge brand, so they have to make their copy long. So a one-liner would not cut it on Facebook ads. That's the takeaway that you should get from this section. Let's move on. The copy should always be personal and me and you basis. I'm not talking about, when people have businesses, they usually use we tones. When you email them, a big business, we apologize for the delay, or we are sorry for this, we are that. They use a lot of we language, but there's a good way to avoid that. What is the way? So instead of this, let's imagine you're writing as a CEO, or you're writing as a staff, or you're writing as a customer service rep. So if you do that and you put your little name, little title there at the bottom, you can use I and me. Or let's say you were to use we as a brand, because brand is not a personality. And that's why big brands uses influencers to represent their brands, because brands, they don't have emotions in and of themselves, because they're not a living thing. They need they need people to represent themselves, such as influencers. Conor McGregor being the influencer of the Proper 12, or a bunch of other things, right? LeBron on Nike, Jordan on Nike, Air Jordan. And why they're always going after the athletes, Nike is not a thing. It's not a thing. So they have to associate themselves with a successful being. That's why I always say, don't use we too much. Always use me, I, you, right? When they try to be formal, even though you want to be formal, you still want to use you and me, and you can always say the CEO as a talking person, or a customer rep, or the marketing manager. You can put that in your emails or in your landing page copy. Always keep that in mind, otherwise you might lose people on the way. All right, there's a structure of the copy, and we are going to cover a couple of bits, which is really important. So this is a copy-paste structure that you can get it right away. By the way, this is excluding the headline. So when you're writing a copy, right, each sentence, so think of it as each 2 sentences, interest, excitement. Try to use interest and excitement in your first couple of sentences, and then a drama, a little bit of a drama. What does that mean? A drama means something you're maybe dissing the point, or you're creating a problem. You're dissing an existing way of doing things, and then why different? Bam. So you say the old way of doing crunches at home is super old-fashioned, and you're probably suffering. You input something like a gel for abs, right? Something like that. And then regardless, some product, or fitness app or something, or a diet plan. And then you say why we are different and how to operate it. You use that 60 pages of meal plan, unique features, explain that in depth. By the way, these are not just one sentence, it's a couple of sentences. These can each be one paragraph, because your copy can be that long. I'm not exaggerating this. Justify the purchase. How? So let's say you put all the features and benefits here, and then how you justify the purchase. Imagine how your friends and families are gonna look at you when you're in the summer, when you'll be wearing your bikini that you bought 10 years ago, that you thought you were never gonna fit in that again, right? And then you emotionally justify that. Now you logically justify it, and then with this high quality fitness app or meal plan, you can always adjust it to your current weight, or you can share with your friends. Lasting value, you can use it all the time. When you're even 60, this plan will be still useful for you. Service guarantees, when you're not happy in the 60 days, we ask no questions, delivered guaranteed. CTA, people always forget this, and they think, yeah, this is an ad, people will think to click under this ad. I remember running an ad literally on Facebook ad. There's a call to action button for people to click, literally saying click here, order now, shop. People, oh, okay, that's amazing, what do I do now? That's amazing, where do I click? Please send me the link. Like, you're literally on the page, there's a button shouting on you. People can't really see that. So you want to give them, ask further in example, i.e., so we can say, so this is the whole offer, and if you want to take advantage of this offer for $97, now please click the link under this ad, or please click the order now button under this ad, and shop your ad to the basket, and shop your plan or something like that. Anticipate every objections and every single one of them. So let's imagine if you were face to face with a prospect. Let's think about if they raise an objection. You have to answer it, right? Otherwise you will lose the sale. But on copy, people tend to not answer those objections, and they think if they don't put that there, the customer or prospect has a chance to maybe forget about that objection. No, guys, the customers are not stupid. They are smarter than you think. Sometimes they can do some weird stuff about call to actions, but they are smart. They are used to a lot of stuff, a lot of ads. They've been through some ads, right? That's why never hide objections. Handling those objections are gonna give you the sale. How you can handle those objections? You might be saying, Jim, there are some points that I'm not really comfortable. You put that as well. If you're not comfortable about a certain point, if you say, yeah, our support system may not be great, and we might not be able to answer you in 1 week because we are in shortage of the staff right now, but we can promise our product or service is such a no-brainer offer that you will get the results that you wish, whatever that is, right? So you want to always answer those objections they're gonna have. Otherwise, you will lose the sale. Trust me on this one. Imagine you're face to face with the customer. You cannot say they ask something, but I have to ask my, mother or something. If they say, you're gonna say, yeah, your mother will approve every decisions you will make, right? Even if you think about this decision is going to improve your life, they will approve 100%, right? They will say, yeah. But if you don't put it on the landing page or an advertisement, you're missing the point. So they're going to come up with the objection and say, yeah, I'll probably talk to my mom, and they skip it. But if you put that objection here, right before call to action, for instance, let's say, if you're just about to think that you have to ask before you make this purchase, ask to your significant other, always think about they will support all the decisions you make, and this decision is going to be the best investment of your life, and they will be supportive of the results. Bam! So you close that deal then and there, right? So this is really important. Please, please, please don't skip this part, guys. It's really important. All right, let's cover the editing portion. So we wrote the copy, majority of the copy, and now we have to edit that beautiful piece. How we do the editing, and I'm going to give you some tips. So these are not the whole editing process, but there are some really important tips, guys. So let's cover some of them. So the first one, that. The word that can be eliminated right away, and usually the word that does not really mean anything, right? We use so that, we did this, that we could have done this, right? We usually sprinkle that in every sentence, but once we take that out, the meaning of the sentence wouldn't really change. So always try to find some that words that you can eliminate. And you can easily do that, and your sentence will flow even better. Edit for rhythm. What do I mean by rhythm? So let's read your copy out loud, and you will see some tongue twisters. Like you will be like, sometimes when you read it out loud. When you're writing, you will see, oh shit, I'm writing like Shakespeare, right? Like I'm a freaking genius, right? And then you read it out loud, like your sentences don't flow. And imagine if a customer get into a tongue twist a couple of times, they will stop reading. And you don't want to have that happen, and make short sentences, long sentences, but read it out loud. So it has to flow. Consider combining sentences, but don't make it long. As I said, short sentences, but if they're super short sentences and they can be combined, do so and go ahead. Unnecessary words such as that, we covered it. The is a big unnecessary word. The something, you can eliminate the, might, and could words like those, and it wouldn't change the meaning. So give it a shot and your copy will look smoother. And trust me, it converts better too. So these are the phrases that you want to avoid as well. So these 5 principles, let's say you wrote your copy, go over this 5 step. Look at the words that you use. Look at the that you have a lot of that's. Take them out and read it out loud. It has to flow. And don't make it too long, but try to combine some words. Eliminate the, could, might. But if that changes the meaning completely, don't eliminate them. So it's important that it doesn't change the meaning. Eliminate phrases like, finally, it is important to note that. Unfortunately, the case may be. So these don't mean anything, and people use those when they have nothing to say insignificant, right? This is really important. Let's cover commas, and this is the last section of this module, and we're gonna jump on a bigger module which is really important and really important tips. And let's cover the commas. So the commas, usually what Joseph Sugarman, the OG copywriter, suggests, he says avoid commas if it's not violating any grammatical errors. So if we have option to use commas and we have the option not to use them, and if it doesn't change the meaning, you can go ahead and avoid commas. And this will make it, again, flow better. So if it doesn't change the meaning, make it flow. All right, that was it for today. See you in the next one. And don't please skip the assignments. Those are gonna help you. And if you don't do the assignments and text me about any questions, I will not answer you. I will check if you really do the assignments. Take care. Prevention. This is a crucial marketing principle, not just copywriting, overall marketing. So this is really important, but I'm gonna show you an amazing way to incorporate this in your copy, even if your product or service, your clients or your business is preventative by nature. There are certain products that are cure by nature, that are some preventative by nature. Let's think about 2 examples. Let's say you have a liposuction. What is a liposuction? Right, that removes spot fat removal. So it just removes a certain amount of fat in a certain part of your body, and it is expensive. Why? Because it is a cure. It is a cure to a problem. Once you got fat, that is the cure to get leaner, or spot fat removal. But exercise programs are not that expensive. Why? Because like exercise programs are preventative by nature. So the more you sell a cure, the more you can charge, and the less the more you sell prevention, the less you can charge. This is, by human nature. If you're an entrepreneur or if you're a drop shipper, always think about solving a problem, solving a specific problem. That really helps people a lot. So in selling this course, I didn't say, get this copywriting course in your arsenal, and so you will not lose money or something. So that will be preventative. But what I said, if you have a product and service, and if you're not happy with the amount of money that you're making, get this course and your business will explode. What does this do? So I, diagnose the problem and I saw a cure, right? Let's cover some examples here. Let's say there are 2 examples here, but this is a hypothetical scenario. If you try to sell a magic pill that contains, herb extracts and stuff, but it prevents cancer, but it will be difficult to sell. Why? Because, there are a lot of herbs that are claimed to be, preventative of cancer. Yeah, it prevents cancer. And people, okay, whatever. We'll take a look when we have cancer. And people go that way. But if we suddenly discovered a magic pill that could cure the disease, not prevent it, cure the disease of cancer, people will literally pay thousands of dollars to buy it, right? But the first example, let's look at the preventative herb extract. You can go to your local grocery shop and grocery store and see a supplement that supposedly prevents cancer for like 20 bucks, right? You always see it on newspapers. This little herb extract pill prevents cancer. This little turmeric, extract helps prevent cancer. Or, one pill a day of this prevents, but nobody pays too much money of it because it's just prevention. It's not urgent. But a cure actually says that you have an issue and you're solving that problem. That's why we want to go after cures. But you might be asking, Jim, what if my product is preventative by nature, not a cure? So there you're going to be, let's say some of you are not going to be that flexible into changing products or services, which is okay. But you have the ability when you're writing a copy to change the preventative product into a cure product. It's just the way we write. So let's say, let's give a burglar alarm, for instance. Burglar alarms are by nature preventative, right? Why we use it? Because it's not solving a problem. It is actually there to prevent an issue, right? It hasn't occurred yet. But if people got robbed, that will be a cure for them, right? So we market that to them and we go to a broader audience. It will be narrow first because we are selling to people who got robbed already, so they will have an urge to buy a burglar alarm, right? That's a cure for them now. But if we have a cure, the market is large enough, we will make a bunch of money. So that's the way it is. I will give some more examples of this. Think about a way, let's say you are selling a t-shirt, right? You will say, Jim, t-shirt cannot be, a cure. We cannot present it as a cure. But think about True Classics. I showed you an example of True Classics. What they were doing, they were presenting that like a plain white simple t-shirt as a problem solver, as a cure, not a preventative. It wasn't a preventative, right? It wasn't like anything preventing something. They were literally promoting that as a shirt that solves the issue for dead butts. Not dead butts, but big arms. But if you have a little bit of a gut, the belly part is kind of baggy, arms parts are kind of tight, and that shows that it's kind of solving a pure problem for chunky people, right? It was kind of a cure for them. So you can always find out a cure in your product, but you have to think outside of the box, outside of the box. So if you have your product and you couldn't find it, text me on WhatsApp, we can brainstorm together. Belief is also a strong factor. So you can say all you want, I have a cure of cancer and I'm charging $1,000 for it or $100,000 for it. If no one believes you, they're not going to buy your cure, right? That's important as well. So if they don't believe you, if you don't have credibility, they're not going to buy it. So they have to believe that you are actually providing the cure for that issue. So if they believe it though, if they believe strongly enough to your product or service is a cure for their problem, they will pay heaps of money. So if you have credibility and you have their belief, you can sell anything to anyone. That's really cure. That's really key. So our main goal is to get them to believe, build credibility with our copy, and make them buy our product, rush to buy our product. So let's say we have a preventative product again, but you also, so it's a tricky thing, guys. So we want to underplay that preventative aspect and overplay the cure aspect. So let's give another example, for instance. Let's think about protein powders. Protein powders, what are they? They help you build muscle. It's a supplement, right? It's just it supplements your dietary intakes of daily protein. So let's think about what people portray it as. So protein powders, if you have lack of protein in your diet, it helps you prevent muscular diseases. It helps you prevent aging and fragile bone developments and all sort of stuff. But if you present it that way, your ability to sell a protein powder will decrease drastically. How can you overplay the cure aspect, underplay the preventative aspect. So we want to underplay those, like the preventative aspect of when you get older, your muscles will be stronger than your peers, and if you fall down, you won't have that fragile bone issues. So we want to underplay that, and we want to overplay what is the main cure of a protein powder. Fixing your diet. A lot of people don't get enough protein. You will fix your diet because they will admit their diet is not good, and that is a cure actually for their diet, for their dietary deficiencies, right? So we want to overplay that aspect of it. We're going to cover how to write perfectly converting sales copy on Facebook ads, emails, on your landing page. And to do that, we're going to cover 8 proven formulas that you can use it right away. Because I have released some free copywriting courses, and a lot of people ask me, Jim, these are great, but these are all theories. How can I actually apply it into my sales page, sales copy, or Facebook ads, right? So we're going to cover exactly that. So the first one, let's get right into it. The winners and losers. In this case, we want to agitate what they're gonna have if they don't buy your product or service, but what they're gonna have when they buy a product or service. So we have to underline both with a lot of agitation. So if they buy your product or service, tell about how their life is gonna improve drastically, and so you want to label them as winners. In this case, as a group, a cult of people who actually win in life, right? But if they stay right there, if they don't buy your product or service, they will, think about that opportunity they missed time and time again. Let's not talk about this theory. Let's see one example right away. All right, now we can see one example here by Sabri Subi. It's a Facebook ad. So he's talking about a course. You just made the smartest decision of your life, and if you don't, not yet. So we go on down. So we're gonna come. He's talking about this product or service, but he hasn't mentioned the winners and losers yet. Insanely low price. He's still talking about his product, which I don't suggest. You first talk about the winners and losers, but this is a great way to remarket as well. So you can use winners and losers copy structure when you are selling. So let's go down. All right, so this is great. Claim this offer simply by clicking the link below. Once you do that, you will be granted access to my entire library. So these are the things that they're gonna get you to be a winner. Direct response copy templates. So these are usually not benefits, but features, which I don't suggest you use a lot if you're not a great copywriter. Always focus on benefits. If you're using features, you back it up with benefits. Let's go down. As I mentioned earlier, once the door closes, you won't be able to purchase. A little bit scarcity and urgency here. So here we start to have the winners and losers. No wonder what that will work. No having to figure out yourself. So this part is actually winners and losers. He's implementing at the end, which also works, right? So no wonder what will work. So if you get that product, you will be winner. Why? So you don't have to worry about if it works. You don't have to worry about to figure it yourself. You don't have to cold email people. You don't have to DM strangers. So these are all for losers, right? Begging for referrals. So you don't have to be that type of loser, hoping and praying. So he's underlying that loser mentality when you don't buy your product or service. But here, he also proves it. This works because we deployed this funnel in 400 something places. And you can see, if you become the winner here in this case, you don't need any of this, and you will start making money right away. This is one way. I will show you a clearer way of this, which is my website, which I use it, but I don't have this course anymore. But we will just check this out. This is a great winners and losers copywriting formula that I used on my landing page. All right. Want to become a digital marketer that makes 6-digit plus. It is frustrating knowing you're not getting paid your worth. This is losers. So I'm underlining what they're missing out. You know what you're worth, but you're not getting that paid. It's not your fault, actually. I'm giving them the opportunity. You need the most desired skills. I'm here to give you a proven system. This is called Big AIDA. The 7-day system I recently discovered is the fastest way to learn digital marketing. Let me explain. Although it's new, hundreds of people tested the system and learned digital marketing in 7 days. Thanks to the 7-day system I discovered. Mastering this high-income skill will get your desired salary faster than any other alternative. So I'm comparing them to Udemy courses, blah, blah, blah. So they go on, and I can see you can see I underlined the winners again. An average digital marketer makes $151,000 per year. So this is an average. So if you're just above average a little bit, bam, you're making a ton of money, right? So you will learn how to run ads. This is the biggest skill, and as you can see, if you are a loser if you don't get this course, because you're not getting paid what you're worth. If you're not making this amount, which is six digits, 100K, you're not getting paid what you're worth. And you are actually, in this case, losers. So you can use this really close to call to action. What I suggest you do this is once you come to call to action, you say, are you an action taker or are you a procrastinator? So once you say that, this is the winner's life, making $151,000. Or are you a loser, not getting paid what you're worth? Of course, you don't want to say loser or winner blatantly, because this is going to trigger them and they might report you. Them versus us. So in this case, them versus us formula, they usually come up with a fictional villain. In this case, the government is the fictional villain. The government wants to get tax from us. So we're agitating that problem. And then you provide your solution. That's why I discovered this money-making something, and the federal bank hates us. Here's what you can do. Create a villain in the scenario, and your product or service will be the savior for them. Let's take a look at one example. This one is a proven and example, the headline that actually worked and generated a bunch of sales. Discover how to use secret weapon of big banks and fat cats in Washington to put wealth in your pocket. Put their secrets to work for you. So who is the villain here? Big banks and fat cats in Washington, right? Those are the villains in this story. But here you're providing that solution to the enemy, to the what they have against us, so we can have that and use it against them. Bam! So we can make money with this. Let's cover the third one. The 3 P's is a really popular method and module, whatever you want to call it, method, formula. Praise, picture, push. So in the first one, we want to praise. So it can be cold emailing people. It's usually people use it for cold emailing. Let's say, I really like your channel, Jim, but I really love, especially how I get these ones all the time. I don't suggest cold emailing. I mean, we're in 2023, for God's sake. It doesn't work anymore. But a lot of people still try their chances. I get some emails. Jim, I like your channel. Your last video was amazing. I really like how you talked about this. But they put the picture and they say, your thumbnails are not where it's supposed to be. I can, design thumbnails and get your channel to XYZ subscribers. And then they put a call to action. Let's book a call to discuss what I can do for you. This is a way to do it. But what I suggest, doing it in an ad, which works even better. So let's go, the 3P formula. Here's Tai Lopez used this formula. Maybe intentionally, maybe unintentionally, I don't know. Here, so he's actually making us picture in the first sentence. You are standing on a mountain 1,000 feet above the lights, gazing at the city filled with millions of people unthinkingly moving about their ordinary lives. So he's actually making us picture that we are above them all. We actually made it out of the matrix. So he's praising that, right? He's making us imagine that he's praising us, right? Life up here is very simple. And now he's painting that picture. Let's see what he says. You either join the masses down there or you continue to climb. No compromises, no whining, no excuses, no second chance. Your path is yours is a path that constantly bombarded with people telling you something. This is your mountain. Everybody below says it's unbeatable, but you aren't everyone. So actually, he's also putting the praise here as well. So he is combining praise and paint. But first of all, putting praise is a little bit better. But of course, you can put the praise either first or at the last. So you can say, I know you're not a time waster. I know you're not a entrepreneur or procrastinator. Take action now. You can say that as well. And then at the end, he put the punch there. He's putting his product. That's why I created these 67 steps. The 67 steps came from the teachings of powerful and famous people who conquered their own mountain and have lived extraordinary lives. And then blah, 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 click here to conquer yours. This is a great copy, to be honest, long form, great copy, mainly picturing us, and it has also some them versus us formula sprinkles on it. We can see that. Let's move on to another one, SCH formula. So the SCH formula has a star big idea. The star is the S, chain is the C, and hook is the H. So what is the big idea, you might ask? Big idea is what makes your product or service unique. So you got to find that. Let's say you have a phone case which is waterproof. This is your big idea, right? It can be anything. Digital marketing agency that does 1 month of free. That's your big idea, right? You can find something out of an ordinary product or service, but try to make it big. That's the big idea. Chain, series of facts, sources or benefits. Usually what I suggest, use facts instead of benefits, because benefits, you either way have to put benefits in your copy, right? Hook, the reason they should buy, and a strong CTA. You might be saying, Jim, what the hell is this? I will show you what I mean. Fasten your seatbelts. By the way, if you still haven't subscribed, please give me a subscribe and share this with a friend who needs to learn copywriting. All right, this is one example. Email marketing is our biggest source of revenue. Bam, he put the chain up there and the big idea is below there. So we usually tend to go with big idea first, chain second, and the hook third. But here he switched the method all around. So S star, the big idea. Let's take a look. Email marketing is our biggest source of revenue. He's chain, putting the fact out there, right? Putting the benefit and the fact. Or he could have said this. Email marketing has generated $1 billion in 2022 from Statista, putting out a fact. And then you put your big idea here. We call it the machine. Bam. It's the big idea. He's coming up with something. Why it's a machine? We don't know yet, right? We have to click on the ad to see what's it. We've outlined our email marketing process below that so that you can create one too. Hook. Bam. CTA. As you can see, they covered this pretty well, but the chain and the big idea could have been, vice versa, one above the other. BYAF tactic. This tactic is not a tactic that you should use in and of itself. You always want to hook them with the other tactics that I give you now. So, but this means actually this is the coded version of BYAF, but you are free. What does this mean? So you get to till the call to action, and then what you're going to say to them, click the link below, don't miss out the chance, or something. People are used to this, right? In this tactic, what people use usually is they say put the benefits on. They say this is the best product, we have 90% off, but you're free to do so. You're free to do whatever you want, right? So this goes in conjunction with the other formulas that I give to you. Let's give another example. All right, we have another one from Sabri Subi. You look at my boy go here. So as I said, this formula, BYAF formula, cannot be used in and of itself. So you can add that at the end of your copy. So we're going down. So as you can see, here is the BYAF. Here, you will want to check out some of my other stuff. If not, totally cool. Bam. So if you don't want to do it, we're sure. No pressure, no puppies harm. Perfect. So he's using this technique here. If you don't want to do it, it's perfectly fine. But this is a no-brainer. We have huge benefits, but if you don't want to do it, no pressure. Because people don't like to be sold. They like to buy themselves. All right, let's move on to the other one, which is one of my favorites. All right, we have some more examples for BYAF. We would be glad if you're willing to share some of insights for our 2019 survey, but you're free to say no. Bam, we have one more example. Great way to do call to action. I am sorry to bother you, but can I ask a favor? But you're free to refuse. Bam, another one. BYAF. My wife and I needed a math tutor for our son. We believe that you would be a perfect teacher for him, but of course, you're free to decide. PAS formula. This is my favorite formula. Even if you're writing a short form copy, long form copy, I use this all the time. Problem, agitate, a solution. So you identify a problem they're facing and agitate that problem. So if you put that problem right away, they say, you're not having any sales, I have my product. Like, they're not going to be, everybody underlines the product, but how that product actually, you have to, scratch the underneath, to get into under their fingernails, right? You have to agitate it, like make them hurt, make them feel hurt. So they have no option but to attack your product or service and buy, right? So we want to get them to that position. So NBO offered the solution. Let's take a look at one example here. And as I said, this is the one that I use all the time. The problem, I've never seemed to say the right thing. This is probably a dating related service. Trying to talk to people can be stressful. How do we know what to say? We think we have so much to offer, and people just, they will love us. But when we try to have a conversation, we put our foot in our mouth. Damn. So he's agitating. Rather than saying, I've never seemed to say the right thing, and then bam, offering the solution, he's building up. It's literally just like taking a girl's number and asking them to marry me. Like, they wouldn't say yes, of course. But if you actually agitate, getting to know the person, agitation process is like getting to know the person, right? You have to agitate the problem. And then he goes on and says, my name is something something, and he explains he built some credibility here, and how do I stop being so awkward? So he still continues the agitation, and then he offers the solution. Today, I invite you to see to see the exact strategies, methods, and tactics you can use to improve your social skills immediately. Here's some of what I will share with you. Bam, and a call to action. This is a great model. And AIDA model, this is, number 7. So this is a well-taught model that in master's degrees and, college education degrees in universities as well. But this is taught as a way to, offer a whole complete marketing plan. But you can use this in a copywriting, legit copy that you're writing, right? Attention, get the attention with an interesting headline. Interest, make them interested with your benefit and big idea. Desire, agitate a little bit so they will desire the product, and then take action. So this is the model that a lot of brands are using. This is Apple. Apple uses this a lot. AIDA model. AIDA. Light dot speed dot. So a person reads this. This raises a lot of curiosity. They will say, "What the hell? This is attention getting, right?" The incredible thin light MacBook Air is now more powerful than ever. Okay, I'm kind of interested. Like, how is it more powerful than ever? What did they do to the new product? It features brilliant something something, and then goes on. And with all-day battery life, so here it is raising our desires. And with all-day battery life, our most popular Mac is perfectly portable, do-it-all notebook. And then starting at $999, bam, they put the action there. So there's literally the full A to A starts with attention, interest, desire, and action. Apple uses this really well. Let's move on to the 8th one, I guess. They start with BAB formula. Here we go. Here's your world now. Underline the problem they are facing. That's the first thing. So before, they are facing some problems, and we have to show the after and bridge that gap. Imagine what it will be like if they had the solution. So that's a great way to portray, to paint a picture of the after if they bought your product or service. And then we're going to bridge the gap. Here's how we're going to solve it. This is our product and service, and this is our solution. Let's take a look at an example. This is an email marketing example, but you can use this formula in Facebook ads as well. Hi. So the first thing, but they're using the before and after in conjunction here. Take a really good look here. What would your dream email list look like? A list with 0 invalid emails, 0 spam traps, and 0 people who mark you as spam. So they're talking about the before here. So before, what is before? A lot of spam emails, a lot of problems that we're facing. Subscribers who love getting your emails and rush to open them every time. Bam. So now we're getting to the after part. Here, this is they're also painting the picture what it will be like if we get to this, whatever it is they are selling, right? Okay. We are asking too many questions. But the thing is a dream email list of yours is not hard to achieve. We've got more than 60,000 awesome customers across the globe who will tell you that. Bam. Now they're offering the bridge. They're bridging the gap. So this is the bridge part. And also they started the bridge really early on. This could have been like just one copy as a Facebook ad here. And they continue to go on with a lot of testimonials. And that testimonials also helps bridging the gap. So this week, you got 25% off what you buy for free. That was it, guys. Hope it was helpful. Please give me a subscribe and take care. So you wrote the copy, you implemented the emotional, logical aspects, the technical aspects, you edited your copy, you know the editing steps of your copy, and now let's cover rating your writing level. As I said, writing level is crucial. If you write for a really high grade level, and this is a mathematical equation that I will show you, you can rate your writing level, So, reaching mass markets, as I said, I always suggest writing for 5th grader level, 6th grader level. I suggest writing 5th grader is like a safer bet, because best-selling books are always written for 6th grader level. By the way, this is not a thing that I look at it, this is for 6th grader, this is for 10th grader. There's an equation that I will show you how you can determine your writing level. And it's like, I will show you in a second. So write with super clarity. So once you write it for 5th grade level, you will have the ability to reach a wider audience. But of course, if you're writing a medical journal or trying to sell something on a medical blog, you can write it for a little bit higher, grade levels as well, like 12 or 11 maybe. But don't ever write at a PhD level. So that will definitely will not work. So always write for a little bit. Think of, like in this case, we're gonna need to think of our audience as like kind of not educated, stupid people. I don't want to say the word stupid, but there are ways that we can assume our customers are stupid and they're extremely smart. This is one of the ways that we have to assume our customer is really stupid. So we want to use really simple words, really simple phrases, really explaining every single thing here. And the word choices, we don't want to use really fancy words like benevolent or something like that. We want to use like simple, everyday person can understand it. And it's an easy thing for you as well, right? As a non-English speaker here, not mother tongue is not my English, so I can easily write stuff like that. But even though I come from an academic background, I can go down that 5th grade or 6th grade level, and it's easier for me too, right? If you're an English-speaking person, that will be super easy for you, writing for a lower grade level. But of course, this is a tricky part. So we want to use simple words, but we want to use it in a technical way that we persuade people to buy, right? But let's say there's an example. As I said, best-selling books are written at 6th grader level. Imagine the wider reach they go after. But Business Week and Wall Street journals are written usually at 11th grade level. So they go after a narrower audience, right? All right, let's determine our writing level. Let's take a look, shall we? First and foremost, you got to take a chunk, 125 words from beginning of your end. It doesn't have to be your first sentence, but start from your maybe second sentence to 125 words. Take it out. Count the words in each sentence and take that number. But dates and numbers are equal to one word. Let's say you have a certain date there, like 25th of April 2020 something. You take that as one word, right? And also numbers are also one word. All right, then we're going to divide the total number of words by the number of sentences. As I said, let's say we studied and we learned. They're independent clauses, right? So we're going to take that as 2 separate sentences. And then count the number of long words. So those of like 3 and more syllables, such as, benevolent. It's 3 or more syllables, right? Don't count short word combinations like pawnbroker or bestseller. Don't count them. You don't count those, right? Don't include proper names like Jim or Jamie or Elise or something like that. And don't include verbs that ends with ed or es. He writes, or he sells, or he sold, or let's say he worked till midnight or something like that. Don't count those verbs as a long runs. And then number 5, divide the number of long words by the total number of words in the selection that you got to get the percentage of the words. Then you're going to have a percentage, right? And then add the average sentence length to the percentage of long words. And then you're going to multiply this by 0.4, and then you will have your grade level, right? If it is 13, 14, 11th, 12th, you have to make your sentences simpler. You have to make your sentences shorter. You have to make your sentences a little bit more concise and use shorter, simpler words, right? But if you are at like 4th grade level, you're good. 5th grade level, you're good. 6th grade level, you're good. But I suggest don't pass 6th grade level. If you pass 7th grade level, that is kind of, slippery slope. And I don't really suggest you pass that because the ability for people to read your whole ad or landing page will decrease drastically. And you will lose people and customers here. And let's cover 7 steps overall of writing a great copy. First, as we covered, we want to become an expert in your product or service. And that doesn't mean that we have to know every single bit. We have to only effectively communicate the product or service. That's it. Second, we got to know our prospect. We got to know the prospect's pain points. And we have a full guidance on it, right? You go back and you go over this again. So you're going to know what type of questions they ask, what type of things they go after, right? What type of problems they face. Going after YouTube videos, Amazon reviews, Quora, Reddit, going after those websites, right? And then you're going to write your headline and sub-headline. As I said, main goal of the headline is to get people to read your second headline, and second sub-headline, this goal is to get people to read your first sentences. And then you're going to write your copy, overall copy. Big chunk. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about writing the perfect copy just then and there. Don't worry about that. And then you want to go back and edit the copy. And then this part is crucial. Stop editing and doing something else. I usually leave it at like 1 day, give 1 day break. And once I come back, I was like, I'm a different person mentally, right? I was like, oh, did I write that? It doesn't really sound good. But at that time, when I first wrote and edited my copy, I was thinking like, this is the best copy that I've ever written. And this is going to be like a banger. And the next day, I'm like, God damn, did I write this? This looks awful. I have to, edit some stuff out. So you will be like that as well. So that's why I suggest do something else, edit your copy and do something else completely. And and then once you come back and re-edit your copy and then do something else again. So you have to repeat the 5th and 6th step of 5 or 6 times. So you're going to repeat these steps. You go edit, rewrite, re-edit, and do something else. The next day you come, re-edit, do something else. Re-edit, do something else. 5 or 6 times. A lot of big copywriters do this process like 100 times. I'm serious. That's how you write a good copy, a great copy. So once you pay attention to the seeds of curiosities, you look at if a person reads it like from a super cold audience, haven't heard of your brand yet, and what are they going to feel? How are they going to approach your copy? Are they going to actually purchase it? You leave it there, go back, and see it again. That's critical. You definitely want to have that. And as I said, don't underplay these parts. Re-edit your copy and use all the techniques I gave here.